All right, guys, welcome back. Wow. Just exactly what you really want to see, you know? I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, you kind of hope that the Rams will end up taking down the Cardinals. I mean, you would assume that, right? I mean, I think we all kind of assumed this was in the bag. But, you know, how far in the bag? And is this team, are they going to ever really get it figured out? You know, I think that was the question. I mean, you know, we've seen bits and pieces. We saw week one against the Seattle Seahawks. We saw that they can put up points. They can play all three phases. But, you know, they finally were really able to kind of capture that again in this game against the Arizona Cardinals. That, let's be honest here, this probably is a 41-14 game when you really think about it. I mean, obviously Haversick has to be better. But let's talk about the good things, because there were a lot of good things. Stafford going over 220 yards, 4 touchdowns. He did throw a really stupid interception, but aside from that, I thought he looked really good, was in his bag. I thought the Rams defense was outstanding, holding the Cardinals to 14. And let's be honest, it was really 8, garbage time touchdown at the end with guys being taken out of the game. Kind of different there. Tutu Atwell led the fray with 76 yards receiving. They started off the first drive with a 42-yard bomb to Tutu Atwell. Not easy to haul that in. Just really impressed with his ability to bring that down. Tyler Higbee comes out. Okay, he's been under a lot of scrutiny. Have 2 touchdowns for you there. Kyren Williams, welcome back in a big way. I mean, when you look at Kyren Williams, he has been so huge for this team. I said it. This team won 1 game without him. He is the engine to this offense. There's a reason why I kept saying it's hard to evaluate this offense without Kyren Williams, who is truly, he's the engine, right? So that's what I'm going to say there, in regards to that. Now, Kyren Williams, and I can't stress this enough, Kyren Williams could have had himself like a career, a record-breaking day, okay? He was unbelievable today. The offensive line was great. They deserve a lot of credit as well, and it's important to be mindful of that, because I think too often, we forget, hey, the offensive line put him in position too. But Kyren Williams, there's a reason why the run game it did not miss a beat today. Made things a little bit easier on Royce Freeman as well, because he was wearing him down. Freeman was wearing him down. Freeman had 13 carries for 77. Kyren 16 for 143. I do think I gotta say it. I can't help but think it. It is a shame Darrell Henderson didn't get a chance to run against this type of defense. I think he could have had some success. This is one of those games where you see that defense and you're like, man, you're chomping at the bit, but take nothing away from Kyren. He was so good in this game. And, hats off to Sean McVay. He was outstanding play calling wise. I thought this was the most complete game we've seen in quite some time. Definitely one of the best games from the Rams since the Super Bowl. You just look complete game, just the way they were able to win on special teams, the way they were, I know they gave up the fake, but that's a little bit different. I don't think they expected them to fake punt that. But at the same time, defense played outstanding. Offense was great. Mixed up the offense. Not a ton of, Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua. They combined for 7 catches and went for 45 yards. But it's okay. And it shows you the potential of this team. I mean, at the end of the day, we're looking at a team that can genuinely win out if they play like this. There's no reason why they can't beat the Ravens. This team today, the Cardinals lost to the Ravens by 1 possession. Okay. There's no reason the Rams can't beat the Ravens. There's no reason the Rams can't beat the Browns next week, the Commanders, the Saints, even the Niners. I mean, we saw that the Rams, without Cooper Kupp and with Kyren Williams in his second game as the starter, his first game as the starter, rather, we saw them. I mean, they were on the ropes at the end of the half. And of course you have that penalty. It hurt them. But I mean, let's be honest here. a win is a win, and I said that last week, but it really feels great to go in and beat a team that you should beat and beat them decisively. And that's what the Rams did today. So, the Rams coming away with a 23-point victory. This is very, very good. This is good. And for those of you out there that are looking at this game and can't really take it, I don't know, appreciate it enough. Maybe that's the word. I'll just say this. Look, this Cardinals team has been different since Kyler's come back. They have not looked like this. They've been in every game. Earlier, without Kyler, they beat the Dallas Cowboys, okay? But furthermore, they beat the Cowboys. With Kyler, they beat the Falcons, who right now, if the season ended today, they'd be in the playoffs. They were in a close game against the Texans last week. They forced 3 turnovers on CJ Stroud, and they came down to the wire against the Ravens. That was a 1-possession game. So, look, say what you will. The Rams, they're only playing it. They're playing a 2-10 football team. That team is going to give you your best shot. Okay, their best shot. And the fact of the matter is, it should be the opposite. I would have expected more from the Cardinals because the Cardinals know what the Rams are. They already saw them. So it's okay to take this win for what it is. This win is a statement win. And it shows you that anyone who thought the Rams didn't have a chance at the playoffs is wrong. Because if they fix their offense today, which it looks like they might have, then they can beat anybody at any given time. And here's the thing. The defense is only going to get better, and they've played well pretty much the whole year, keeping them in games, but they're only going to get better if they're not on the field as long and the offense is setting them up. So really good stuff today. If you're a Rams fan, you have to feel good coming off this win. This was a good one. This is a good one. New York Times right now in their predictive model, how can the Rams make the playoffs? Well, with a win over the Cardinals, they are now at 27% chance of making the playoffs. Obviously, I think that game against the Vikings is a big deal. If the Bears were to win that, it could go up as high as 32%. So that's pretty good. In the next week, say the Bears were to win and, say the Seahawks, lose to the Cowboys and, just for, argument's sake or whatever, the Chiefs beat the Packers. Now you got the Rams and Browns. If all of that happens, the Rams have just moved up to 43% chance of making the playoffs in a 3-week span. So this is why I continue to beat my chest about the Rams. Okay. This team is not out of it. They got more talent than most teams that are, hovering around the 5, 6, 4, and 7 area of the league. And I don't think people realize that. So the Rams have a really real shot. They have to beat the Browns. The Ravens game, they don't have to win that. But if they did win that, they beat the Browns, considering they're now up over 65% chance of making the playoffs. They take down the Commanders. And now, coming off the bye, if they were to put together a 4-game win streak, beat the Commanders, the Browns, and the Ravens upcoming, actually 5-game, then they would have an 80% chance of making the playoffs. And then that leads into week 16 on Thursday Night Football, short week. Rams Saints, if they can pull that off, it's a 95% chance, and they could just clinch the playoffs with a win over the Giants week 17. And then that week 18 game doesn't mean anything against the 49ers. Now, 1 week at a time, I get it. I don't want to get too crazy, but I do want to say that, look, the play calling was great today. The run game was great today. I thought the passing game was fine. I mean, I think the Cardinals kind of took that away, and fine. The Rams found alternate methods to attack it. Using the running backs in the passing game, mixing up the runs a little bit, mixing up the blocking a little bit, having those bootlegs, right? More play action. We saw a touchdown on the bootleg to Tyler Higbee, 2 touchdowns to Tyler Higbee, diversifying. I think this is really what I've been asking for, and I know a lot of you have as well. I thought Jordan Fuller might have played the best game of his career. I know there was a game where, I think he had 2 interceptions. I thought this game was more efficient. I thought he was outstanding in coverage. I thought he got called for a penalty that he shouldn't have been. And I thought he played really well. I thought Akello looked really good in coverage today. 3 pass breakups. He was outstanding on the outside. Just really impressed with, first off, we got to mention the conductor, okay? Kobe Turner, 2-sack day. He looked unbelievable. Really impressed with just the continued, I guess, success, but also the growth and development of Kobe Turner. It just goes to show you Les Snead knew what he was doing when he went out and got him. So, big fan of Kobe Turner. I love that they went out and, they drafted him. And it just goes to show you Les Snead knows what he's doing, man, because that was a hell of a pickup. It was nice to see Mr. Irrelevant get in there. Desjuan Johnson get his first career sack. Obviously that was a big moment for him. John Johnson had 2 pass breakups I want to throw out there. Fuller had 4. So just, definitely some guys that really stepped up today. I mean, you didn't really see a ton of action in the secondary because for the most part, they kept throwing it short. I thought the Rams really did a nice job for the most part, limiting the explosives. The explosives through the air, there was only, I think, 1, and it was Marquise Brown. And to be honest with you, it was a missed call. I think he pushed off. But, I just can't stress enough how important it is to respond, bounce back, regardless of what you say, okay? The Rams have not done what they did today. They have not had 228 yards on the ground this year. They have not had a game in which Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp were held in check and they won. They have not had a game in which they've won following a win this year. They have not had a game where they had 10 pass breakups. Okay? They have not had a game where Stafford's had 3 touchdowns passing, let alone 4. So this was a bunch of firsts. But it was the second of something, and it's the second sweep in a row in a divisional series on the year. They swept the season series for Seattle last week. They swept the Arizona Cardinals this week. Big time football. The Rams did something that they haven't done all season. They did a lot of things they haven't done all season in this game. But one of those big things, though, for me, is that it goes to show you that this team is willing, and they're first off, the tanking thing went out the window weeks ago, so we're not still talking about that. But it just goes to show you though that you can't count this team out. Stafford with 121.1 passer rating today. I mean, this is his best game of the year. Stupid interception aside, he looked great. Kyren looked great. Royce looked great. Tutu looked great. Defense looked great. I mean, and again, Kyler Murray, I don't think he played all that bad considering. But no, they absolutely shut down the Cardinals. And I mean, you should feel good about it. That's really what it comes down to. You're not going to see many teams in the league that are 5-6 playing at this level at any point this late in the season. And so, that's how I'm looking at it. But yeah, it's really nice to see a response. And that's what I was hoping for. And that's what I'm seeing here is that the Rams are able to respond, and they did it the right way. Playoff seeding as followed. The Rams are still in 9th place. Now keep this in mind. Atlanta Falcons won today. They're 5-6. They will now have the tiebreaker because they won head to head against New Orleans. So they are the 4 seed. The Rams have the tiebreaker over Atlanta anyway in common games, I believe, and strength of victory. So let's see here. So you got the Eagles right now. They're trying to hang on to the 1 seed because they have a date with the 49ers, and they're trying to beat Buffalo right now. They're down 31-28 to Buffalo. They're 9-1. The 49ers have the 2nd seed. They're 8-3. They have best win percentage in common games against the Lions. Lions are the 3 seed at 8-3. The Falcons have the 4 seed at 5-6. The 5 seed is the Dallas Cowboys at 8-3. If that doesn't tell you, by the way, that we should stop these auto bids, I don't know what does. I mean, 5-6 and the Falcons would make the playoffs, and the Dallas Cowboys would have to go to Atlanta, even though they're 8-3. That's insane. But anyway, Vikings, they have the 6 seed. They're 6-5 there, right? Seattle is 6-5. This week, Monday Night Football, the Vikings play against the Bears right before their bye. If the Bears do win that would be very interesting for the Rams. That makes things really interesting. As well as, the Packers are 5-6, sitting there at the 8th seed. They have the tiebreaker over the Rams, as unfortunate as that is. The Rams have the tiebreaker over New Orleans based on win percentage in conference games. And the Bucs lost today. So the Bucs are 4-7. The Giants are 4-8. Washington's 4-8. Chicago could be 4-8 with a win. They'll move to 3-9 if they lose. Arizona's 2-10, and Carolina's 1-10. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes, but this is real, guys. I'm not just saying it. I wouldn't be bringing it up if it wasn't real. The Rams, obviously they need to get the win this week, but last week was really what was the catalyst to start all this. Let's be honest here, okay? Next week, say Dallas beats Seattle. I believe that's the Thursday night game. Dallas beats Seattle. The Vikings lose to the Bears, right? The Rams, with a win against the Browns, would be the 7th seed if the Packers drop the game against the Chiefs. So the Rams would be in the playoffs as early as next week if the Packers lose. And to be honest with you, the Vikings loss helps, but it actually doesn't really matter. They would still have the 6th seed in the tiebreaker. So really none of this really matters as far as that goes. It helps long term if there's an extra spot. I'd be rooting against Minnesota, but seeding wise, it won't help in the short term. So if you want to see the Rams back in the playoff picture, then you want them to beat the Browns, you want the Packers to lose to the Chiefs, and you want the Dallas Cowboys to beat the Seahawks. Seahawks would drop to 6-6. The Rams would have the tiebreaker, and the Packers are currently 6-5. Or sorry, they're 5-6. So you'd want them to have that loss on the record against the Chiefs, drop them to 5-7. Rams would take over the 7th spot. So it's not out of the question, man. Not out of the question. And it gets really interesting if the Rams were to somehow knock off the Ravens after the Browns game. It gets easier from there. Obviously, you have the 49ers to wrap up the year, but yeah, I'm just saying this is very real. So today was huge. Rams needed to get it done. They did. But I feel like a lot of today was about finishing the right way, was about a statement, was about building on the momentum. And I think they did a nice job with that. So I'm feeling good about them moving forward here. We'll see about the offense, but I mean, Kyren Williams only ran 16 times. Guy could have run 30 times for over 300 yards if he wanted to. That was just how today went. So I'm going to start bringing on some people, and yeah, let's do it. All right. Jack, you there? I guess you're not there on my screen. I can hear you, but the world cannot. Perhaps that's a good thing. No, I'm kidding. All right.
We're not gaming, so I'll keep it chill.
All right. So what were your thoughts on that one?
Oh my God. What was there not to like? I mean, I've been wanting the Rams all year to just play a complete game, to just play like they were in control of the game for 4 quarters, and they pretty much did that. I mean, the interception is probably like the only thing I have to complain about, but like I think you said it on Twitter perfectly. Like you can't blame Sean McVay for trying to score with that little time left in the half, especially when Arizona's getting the ball back. But I mean, Kyren Williams had a day. I love that. I love to see that. He had 204 rush yards. He was averaging 8.9 yards a carry. It's ridiculous. I mean, yeah, that's just absurd. And then you said Jordan Fuller had his best game. I thought it was his best game since that game where he picked off Tom Brady twice. I mean, everybody just for the most part did their jobs today. It's really what you love to see from this team.
Absolutely. I mean, it's exactly what you want to see from them. Just like it, I mean, we talked about it. I think this is a game that every Rams fan, regardless of, obviously karma, because it's like, oh, we've been there, done that. Like, oh, we're going to win this game and then they lose. It's like every Rams fan knew they were going to win this game. But it was, how are they going to win this game? Is this going to be a blowout? Is this going to be a close one? And I think, well, what helps is that this game could have just been a win is a win, but then they kind of feel a little bit like pretenders. Today, they started to look like a playoff contender. And you could say what you will. Oh, the Cardinals aren't very good. But, I mean, I ran off the list of teams that they've gone up against, they've played hard against. One of them is a team that the Rams will see in 2 weeks in the Baltimore Ravens. I mean, I think this is the best Cardinals team you're going to get all season with Kyler healthy and so forth. So, I don't know, man. I think people are going to, they're going to temper their expectations a little bit, and rightfully so. But I think there's a fine line between tempering expectations and just not giving credit where credit's due. And I think they deserve a lot of credit today because last week was not great and they still found a way to win. And then today it was kind of like, okay, so last week wasn't great. Let's just dominate them. And that's what they did.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much did exactly what I would have expected them to do when they didn't really run the ball at all. Like, I'm going back to last time they played Arizona. I forget what week that was, but like they just weren't committing to the run in the first half, and you saw it was hurting their offense. They only scored like 6 points, I think. And then they kind of knew during the second half they started getting Kyren running the ball, and they're like, all right, this guy can really be the engine of our offense. And now that he's back in the lineup this week, they just executed that right from the get-go, and it paid off in huge dividends. You saw what was it, like 24 points in the first half?
Yeah.
They haven't done that all year. I mean, they just played such a complete game. It's crazy to think. Also got to shout out Kobe Turner, by the way, for the 2 sacks on defense. That's something you love to see.
Yes. No, that was big. Kyren Williams went 36 carries for 301 yards this season against the Cardinals.
Absurd.
I mean, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. His 6 receptions for 61 yards is the thing I think that I take away the most from it. It shows that Sean McVay is once again committed to, maybe not committed is the word, maybe it was a game plan thing, but he's welcoming using the running backs in the passing game again, which is something we love to see. I mean, I think it makes it really easy on you. You saw, what Darrell Henderson did, in Kyren's absence. I mean, you can't underestimate enough how important it is to get running backs involved in the passing game. You saw what, Christian McCaffrey can do and Todd Gurley, hands on. It's like when you can get Kyren Williams in space like that and just a head full of steam, it's only going to just benefit you. And so I think we saw a lot of that. He had 2 receiving touchdowns today. So that was great stuff to see. What are your thoughts moving forward? They got the Browns, Ravens, and Commanders next on their schedule, their next 3. How do you see those games going? Do you think they win all 3? Do you think they win 2 of the 3? How do you see it working out?
Well, I definitely remember saying a couple weeks after, like when we lost to the Packers, my thoughts were, all right, let's look at the upcoming schedule. They have 2 winnable divisional games against the Seahawks. They got that win against the Cardinals. They dominated that win. Now the conversation's different. Like I predicted, the Rams are 5-6. They're right back in the hunt. We have the Browns next week, right?
Yes.
That should be a pretty winnable game. They don't have Deshaun Watson. They don't have Nick Chubb. They don't have. I heard that Myles Garrett might miss that game too. So
Dorian Thompson-Robinson got hurt actually. So
yeah, I heard about that as well.
So PJ Walker came in. I didn't know PJ Walker got benched though. So I mean, I guess he's that bad. I don't know, but
yeah, I mean, that feels like a winnable game too. And I'm going into that thinking the Rams should. Maybe I don't know if they're gonna have another game like they did today, but they should be competitive in that game for most of it. Honestly, Baltimore is probably. I don't think they beat Baltimore, but I think they can run with Baltimore at the very least. I don't think we're going to see another game like against the Ravens in 2019. I'm not sure we want to flash back to that. I don't think it's going to be anywhere near that. They should beat the Commanders pretty easily. I mean, yeah, I think like I've been saying all this time, the Ravens and the 49ers on the upcoming schedule are really the only two real tough opponents that we have. And assuming if the Rams can get an upset win against Baltimore, that 49ers game at the end of the season might not even matter because San Francisco might just rest starters. They might have already locked up the division by that point if Seattle keeps going on a downward trajectory. And then
I agree with that.
The Rams, if they win out these next 5 of their last 6 games, they should pretty much have the playoff spot on lock. So it's like that game against San Francisco might not even matter. So I'm pretty confident going forward. I don't think this team is out of it. I said a couple weeks ago, all they needed was a couple big divisional wins and they'd be right back in the conversation. That's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I saw, DTR got hurt. It was a concussion. So I don't think he can actually play next week. I don't know how
concussion protocol works.
I don't think anybody does. There's not like an ironclad thing with that. So, but yeah, final question. The way they sit right now, 5-6. So what is their record? And if they make the playoffs in your mind, can they win that first game? Whether that's the 49ers, the Lions, whoever.
I'm gonna say 10-7. I think the Rams get to 10-7. I think it really just depends on the opponent, obviously, come playoff time. The fun thing about the playoffs is anything can happen, but it really just depends on the opponent. I mean, I think we have a better chance of beating a team like Detroit than we do San Francisco. But then again, we also played San Francisco twice every year, so if we play them a third time, we could know them well enough to stand a chance. So I think we'll see how it goes. But, I think the Rams-Ravens game, I think, is ultimately what that 10-7 record comes down to. But even at 9-8, I think there's still that would put them at like 9-8. I think, right? I don't even remember if I'm doing my math right, but I don't know. I think they can get there. I think they can stand a chance and compete in the playoff game. It's just a matter of who they go up against or do they know their opponent well enough to stand a chance. So.
No, it's a good point, man. We'll definitely see. Appreciate you hanging out, and no problem. I'll probably stream soon. I don't know tonight, but soon.
I'm not gonna hold you to it because I know the season is like coming down to the nitty gritty. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Also, shout out to your community. It was really cool hanging out with a handful of people. We were watching the game together, so that was fun. So it's a great little vibe awesome that you got going on your server. So.
Well, that's what it's all about, man. And just trying to grow a community,
Exactly. I'm glad to be part of it.
Glad you're a part of it as well. I'll catch you.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Later, Jack. All right. All right, guys. I know I got some super chats. I haven't been able to pay too much attention, so let me just take a moment to read those super chats because I don't want to waste anyone's time here. Let's see here. Viewer activity. Okay, cool. Matthew plowed in. Thank you for the 20, my friend. What's up, Jake? Man, that Williams kid is a damn baller. You're absolutely right. He 100% is. Appreciate the 20 again, man. Jesse Johnson for the 5. Thank you so much. Good win today. Glad that everyone was involved. Keep doing your thing, Jake. Appreciate the content. Appreciate you right back, Jesse. Thank you so much for the 5. Very good win. Wildman Samurai. member, now new platinum member. Thank you so much, Wildman Samurai. And thank you for the 5 as well. Platinum member now, bro. Future of the Rams looks so very bright. Horns up. Appreciate that, man. It does look bright. Because regardless, if you came into this season negative about their future, if you came into this season and said, this team's not going to win many games, how do you look right now? Because that was a blowout win. That was the closing out the second straight sweep of a divisional series. And they're a week or two away if things play out kind of the way they could. They're a week or two away from being in the playoffs if the season ended. So that's saying a lot. It's kind of like the 49er thing. 49er fans were making fun of Rams fans because Ram fans took that second week and was like, hey, the Rams are paying $75 million to players that aren't currently on the roster, and they had them on the ropes. It wasn't until Joseph Noteboom got hurt that it completely changed the game. Look, I'm not going to sit here and moral victory you to death because I think this team is a 10-win football team. Do they win 10 wins? I don't know, but I think they're very capable of it. I have them at 9-8, but I wouldn't be surprised if they ended up winning 10 wins, like I said, preseason. But the point is that, look, if you thought this team wasn't going to be very good, then haven't they already exceeded your expectations? That's exciting. That means it's a good future ahead. And it's not like you could say, oh, well, they had a third place schedule. Yeah, so much for that third place schedule. What? They have one of the toughest schedules in the league. Period. Jason, appreciate the 5. Keep doing this, Jake. Our Rams are 5-6, just dominated. Sweeping Seahawks was icing before. Let's go with you and Cam. Wild card Rams playoffs. Yes, let's do it. I'd love to see it. Not trying to be a hater, but I'd love to see the Rams and Lions because I think the Rams could give Jared Goff some problems. And I think their defense is good enough to stop that Lions offense. And furthermore, I think the Rams offense, the potential is good enough to beat the Lions defense. And I think the Rams could win that game. Now, it would be the first playoff game in a minute at Ford Field. But Stafford returning to Ford Field, I don't know, man. The Niners, potential matchup with the Niners in the first round of the playoffs would be crazy. Going up against the Eagles in a rematch after they lost that game, by 9? They were in that game the whole way. That would be interesting. I mean, they're not going to have a matchup with the Falcons or the Saints or the Bucks we definitely know the Panthers, but because the Rams aren't going to have the 5 seed. The 5 seed is locked up for Dallas. Dallas would have had to lose that game against the Commanders to genuinely have to give up that 5 seed. They're not giving up the 5 seed. Plus, they have to lose one more game because the Rams wouldn't have the tiebreaker. So that's important. So I don't know. I mean, I think the Rams pretty much know, if they were to make the playoffs, the teams that they could go up against in reality, it's between the Lions, the 49ers, the Vikings, depending on how things went, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, depending on how things went. If the Cowboys ran away with the division, they stole the division away from Philly, then fine. But that's it. The Rams, theoretically, if they got into the playoffs, they're likely only going to see either Philly, the 49ers, Detroit, and maybe Minnesota and Dallas. That's it. Do you think the Rams can beat any of those 5 teams? Because I do. I think the Rams could beat the Vikings. I think the Rams could beat Dallas if they had a rematch against them. I think the Rams could beat Detroit. I think the Rams could beat the 49ers, and I think the Rams could beat Philly. It'd be tough. Doesn't mean that they would 100% beat them every single time, but I think they could beat them. So this is why it's all about getting into the dance, because once you're in the dance, things can happen. it gets very interesting. And right now, with the NFC the way it is, the only teams that really stand in the Rams' way are the teams they're facing on a week-to-week basis: the Packers, the Seahawks, the Vikings. That's really it. So we'll see what happens. All right, let's bring on another guest here. Ian, what's good?
Yo, Jake, what's going on, man? Can you hear me okay?
I got you, man. How you doing?
Heck yeah, dude. Doing good, man. Isn't it? Let's everyone take a breath here. Isn't it amazing when you can run the football or when you just attempt to run the football, how magical things can be on offense?
I know.
Isn't it great, Jake? Isn't it great, dude? I mean, think about how the weeks we've complained, I have, you have, the fan base, of how basic the playbook is. But hey, when you run the football, everything else opens up. It allows McVay and the offensive staff to be like, hey, we can do anything we want because they have to honor the run.
Yeah.
And what a shot. Play action was there. Drop back was there. I like the diversity of formations finally. This game was everything offensively that we have wanted to see all year. It happened. Multiple formations, not the same 15 passing plays, a little more diverse in the run game, more pistol, more Royce Freeman downhill. And then Kyren's just a Cardinal killer, ain't he? Man.
Oh, my God. 301 rushing yards against them.
Dude, I mean, Jake, is it? I think in the last 2 games, it's something absurd. It's, what is it? My goodness. Total yards, 362. 3 total touchdowns against the Cardinals. Holy cow, man. I mean,
it's bonkers. And the thing I can't stress enough is that if Kyren wasn't coming off a serious ankle injury, which, by the way, let's not take this for granted, because, I mean, it's funny. I was doing research and I saw this article. Only 66% of the time, fantasy-wise, because, those fantasy articles, you might not play fantasy, but they always have good info. 66% of the time a running back comes off a high ankle sprain, they do not match their original output statistically.
Unfortunate, but I believe it.
Kyren looks better. Like that's the thing.
Yeah, he looked good today.
Is that when Kyren went down, he was still getting comfortable, or not even, he was just getting into his rhythm, I think, being a starter. Because I think there is, you would be ignorant not to admit that there is a learning curve when you become a starter, as opposed to when you're, a 6th man in basketball, or you're, a pinch hitter in baseball or in football. You're just a rotational piece. And that's the thing, is Kyren went from rotational back to becoming a starter. And he had to go through a transition. The transition did not take long. But the transition, like, what is his ceiling? Because I don't know. I mean, the only cap he has on his game is the fact he's not very fast. Like, he's fast, but he doesn't have the long speed like Gurley and Christian McCaffrey. And to be honest with you, not many do. So that,
It's something to say, like, okay, we're talking Hall of Fame level talents. Like, Gurley was a Hall of Fame level talent. McCaffrey is a Hall of Fame level talent.
Yeah.
Injuries have just held them both back. Like, look it, man. I mean, think about the games where he didn't get a lot of carries. That Bengal game, we're all like, attempts. Against the Eagles, he only touched the ball, like, I think 13, 14 times.
Yeah.
Even in previous weeks, if he was getting the workload of 20 plus throughout the whole season, plus he wasn't hurt, I mean, he would be top 5 in every stat: carries, yards, total yards, receiving, rushing. Like, he's legit, man. And look, everything's about injury and staying healthy. He's been hurt 2 years in a row. That's just the reality, everybody. It's unfortunate, but that is our reality, his reality, the Rams' reality. We can just stay healthy, continue to stay healthy going forward this season and beyond in future years. Dude's going to be really, really damn good. And I'm excited. I'm excited about that. Everyone was talking about, the young players that were drafted. Kyren's only in year 2, and really, he missed majority of last season. So this is basically his first legit full season, right, under the Rams. So
yeah,
we have a lot of young players, man, that are doing well, and that's good for a team everyone thought was going to be trash, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. No, I think that you just got to give a lot of credit to this team for not just dying. I think what
Yeah, I know.
we don't realize is that there's an emotional toll that only really the players can feel and the coaches can feel. The fans have it, but they don't, because you don't have to go there. Like, we're as upset as the players and the coaches are at losing, but we don't have to go up on the podium and talk about it. I mean, I guess I kind of
I
have to
know.
come up on here and talk about it, but that's not the
Well,
case.
that is true, Jake.
But I'm not defending my own performance. You know what I mean? And I think that's the difference is it's not just going up and talking about it. It's also like finding the answers and having to live with it. And like, hey, I'm on a bad football team right now. Like, having that realization that stings. I mean, we spent all off season, working in the training room, on the practice field, in the film room, in the meeting room. It's like a lot of preparation goes into that. And so, to have the emotional toll of all that, like, man, we did all that and we just never realized, like, we weren't enough. Like, we didn't do enough. We're not even scratching the surface of what the rest of the league is. And that's what you realize when you're losing games like that. But the Rams took the bye, clearly learned a lot from it, had a tough one against Seattle. I mean, that was not a perfect game. That was not a great game, but a win is a win. And
Yeah, that
so
was a
they
nail
took
biter.
that. They took all their frustrations that they had about that game being a nail biter and that game being things that they didn't, come away with. And they took it out on the Arizona Cardinals. And look, 37-14 doesn't indicate how truly, like, how much of a beatdown this game truly was. I mean, at no point did the Cardinals look like they had a chance of winning this game. Even when they were up 8-7, it was like, why are they up 8-7? This is insane. Why are they winning right now? And it's just like, I don't know. For me, that's what I was hoping for, because again, it's one thing to win your game 17-16 the previous week, and then to come back and, win again, another close one, 20-17, final seconds, you kick a game-winning field goal against a rival on the road. It's another to go against a rival on the road that knows you very well, has been competitive against good teams like the Texans and Ravens, has beaten Dallas,
That's right.
to go out there and beat them by 23 on their own turf. And the question at the end of the game was, how badly could you truly have beaten them, because you had your backups in for the last 6 minutes of the game?
Oh, it could have been worse. I mean, look at Jake. I know people, either our own fan base, the opposing fan base, would be like, "Oh, Cardinals were missing so many guys on defense," which is true. We can't deny that. But you only can play who is out there on the field, right? There's no control. It's like, hey, if they are inferior in talent, then you should smoke them, and that's what happened. So, there's a lot of people in our fan base that are like, we beat a bad Cardinals team, but you just named everybody that they've been competitive with.
Yeah.
We should have beat who they have beat, and it's a good win. Anytime you can, and you know what they say, these division games, no matter what division we're talking about or anyone could talk about, those games are always tough. You know each other well. You play each other twice. You study the hell out of each other because these games matter more. So a lot of the times, these games are down to the wire, and to smoke your opponent, it's a big deal. And I'm glad it happened, because we needed this game, right? I think, what were the chances if we lost? It was going to be something bad. I remember reading somewhere, was it 25% if we won? And I saw that it's jumped to 27 based on everything else around the league. So
Yeah.
this is an important one, man. And I'm glad everyone stood healthy for the most part. We hope maybe later we might hear some things. Hopefully not. But everyone stood healthy. O-line performed. No injuries. Cup, I know, got a little banged up, which I'm a little worried about his health. But everyone seemed to be, clean in a blowout win, which is good. And I mean, Jake, based on what I'm hearing and reading, Cleveland, they might be really, really hurt going into our game next week.
Oh, yeah.
ETR had a head injury. Amari Cooper, possibly broke ribs. Myles Garrett hurt his wrist.
Yeah, it's
Some
not.
other starters, I think, had some leg injuries. I mean,
It's not good for them.
Talk about. I mean, I never wish injuries upon any other player, man. Make as much money as possible. I mean, it sucks. But for for our sanity and sake, what better timing for their best players to probably not play, right? I mean, things are aligning kind of well right now. I mean, who knows? Probably Miles is a superhuman. Garrett he'll
Yeah.
probably power through and club it or something. Cooper, we'll see. Probably DTR might have a concussion, so that might be non-existent for him. We get a PJ Walker game, which helps us. So things are clicking, Jake. And I don't know what the percentage would be if we were to win next week, but I assume it's got to jump another 10, 15, 20%, right?
Well, I could get that for you. So,
Oh, well,
yeah,
good.
I got it. I'm Johnny on the spot. I was just actually talking about this earlier. So,
Oh, very good.
yeah, let's take a gander, shall we? I know we had 27% before that.
Yeah.
So then if the Rams beat the Browns without anything happening the rest of the way, that's up to 43%. Not touching any of the games.
Yeah, and that's just isolated, right? We just get a victory, so that's incredible good odds, man. Who would have thought this, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago? Oof.
Yeah.
So
And
we'll see what happens. I mean, if we can just play like how we played today on offense, because I mean, Jake, our defense is pretty good. Let's just keep it real. For a team that's like, depleted of talent, we got players. This team, if they're not playing one of the top 4 offenses in the league, Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles, they've been pretty good. Think about it. Eagles have dropped mega points on everybody. Cowboys, for the most part, 49ers as well. So excluding 3 of the top 4 offenses, this defense can play. So I think they're going to keep us in it next week. I have no doubt about that, unless there's a stinker, which happens every season. There's always a game where you're like, what happened? But
and the Browns offense, like, I mean,
yeah, I mean, look, guys, let's think about it. The last time we saw PJ Walker, he was just throwing bubble screens to McCaffrey all game last season. So we expect much different, maybe a little bit better, right? I know Stefanski's a better coach, but offensive play caller. But we're gonna have a legit chance, and to jump up to 40+%, huge.
I mean,
Huge.
these are the facts. Okay, the Broncos were 1-5. They've now won 5 straight and are 6-5.
I know, what a turnaround.
And it just goes to show this is the league. There's not a ton of those teams, but to assume that you're out of it the moment you go down 1, 2, 3, 4 games, it's like, man, you don't understand. There's a reason why there's 17 games played,
Yeah.
And so I think that, I mean, yeah, I think with the Rams, all right, let's make a pact, okay? 5 and 6. All right. They are a few things. Actually, let's just be honest here. If the Chiefs, if the Chiefs beat the Packers next week, the Rams beat the Browns, and the Seahawks lose to Dallas, the Rams are in the playoffs if the season ended that week, right?
That's incredible.
So let's make a pact here. Let's stop talking about the draft. I'm one of the biggest draft nerds out there. Why are we talking about the draft if this team can still make the playoffs? And not just can. Like, we're talking they're in the playoffs if those 3 things happen next week. And 3 of which, let's be honest,
extremely likely.
It is likely. The Chiefs are better than the Packers. I know it's at Lambeau, but come on now. If Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs can't beat the Packers, man, they got a vendetta against us. But anyway,
Maybe.
But then Dallas, though, that's the toughest home team in the field. I mean, they're the best home team in the last 3 years. And then
they're good. They're good in Texas. They are.
And then the Rams, it's like, I mean, if they can't beat the Browns, they don't deserve to be in the playoffs, right? If they can't beat a beat-up Browns team without their quarterback, without Myles Garrett potentially, and Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb, and then they don't belong. But if they take care of business at home, which they will have home field advantage, which they will be able to have Matthew Stafford's cadences taking advantage there.
Better be, damn it.
Then that's 6-6, and you have a shot to be in the playoffs. And it's like, man, I don't want to hear any more of this, but I want pick 10 or pick 7 or pick 5. Dude, I'll be honest with you. I don't even care about the draft. The way I see it is they have a first round pick for the first time since Taylor Rapp in 2019. They traded down. That was a 31st overall. Okay. I wouldn't mind having the 31st to 32nd overall pick. Okay. It's still a first rounder. It's still a first rounder. I still think they could use the left tackle in the future. I think it's why they didn't make any trades at the deadline, because they could have gotten Chase Young for the future. I don't think they wanted to move any of those second or thirds, because I think those two picks they could use to trade up in the first round. And so that's why I think they're going for it, man. I mean, they don't care about any of that crap. They don't care about the draft right now. You know?
No, and they shouldn't. No player or coach on that staff is playing for draft position other than ownership. Let's just keep it real. Ownership cares about those things. No player, no coach gives a damn, because jobs are on the line. I mean,
exactly.
Obviously we casually talk about it. I know you know this, and the majority of our fan base knows this, but yes, would having a top 10 pick benefit us? But who says Les Snead and Co is going to make the right decision?
Yeah,
You know,
I mean
that's
14
the risk and the gamble. Yeah, like we've seen plenty of bad picks under his regime. Let's just keep it real, and there's been plenty of good picks. But that's the draft for you. It's a lottery ticket. Sometimes you score and win some cash. Sometimes you scratch out and you wasted your money. That's the draft for you. So I'll take making a playoff tournament and getting in the dance and seeing what happens over a top 10 pick that is a coin flip whether it's going to work out or not. The chances are it's not. You know, that's just the reality of first rounders and any pick really in the draft. So I'm hopeful, man. Let's see what happens going forward. But I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah.
Everybody, let's just chill out on the mock drafts and all that. Let's wait until they're, statistically eliminated from playoff contention. When that happens, then we can have those discussions, right? I think that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, even if they lose to the Browns, I mean, they still have a shot at making the playoffs. You know, I would say if they were going to lose, you'd want it to be against the Browns or the Ravens, because they have no say on the playoff picture. But you don't want to lose games where, I mean, you could lose the tiebreaker because of wins in common games. And you could think, oh, we lost to the Giants. It's not a big deal. No, it's a big deal, because these other teams might have beaten the Giants. You know, these other teams might have beaten the Commanders. These other teams might have already beaten the teams you lost to, like the Steelers, the Bengals, the Eagles. Everything matters. And you know what else matters? Believe it or not? Points. So there's no running up the score, because point differential is also a tiebreaker as well. So
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so that stuff matters as well. But yeah, real quick here, because I got to get through a bunch of people. But
no apologies.
no worries. Are the Rams making the playoffs?
I'm saying yes, based on what I've seen. Based off what I've seen with Kyren Williams. How about that?
Yes.
A healthy Kyren Williams. That's what I will say. I think yes. I think as long as he touches the football 18 to 20 plus times, we're gonna have a chance. And I'm gonna say yeah, because if Cleveland, like I'm basing off what we said earlier about Cleveland, about the majority of guys being severely banged up, we have a legit chance, and I think they will. Now, if injuries happen and other crappy things, then obviously not. But if all things are equal, I think they sneak in. I really do.
I do too.
And oh man, I will be so happy. Honestly,
I mean,
so happy.
At that point, nothing matters. You get into the dance, and anything can happen. And I was just saying before you came on, they can beat the Lions. They can beat the 49ers.
I think
they can beat the Eagles. I mean, they could beat any of those. The Rams can beat anyone when they play the way they did today. And that is why today is such a big deal, because we haven't seen them play like this and put together an all three phases level of complete football, arguably all season. So
I know it's good, man. John Johnson's finally in shape, reclaimed a starting role. Quentin Lake, I know he didn't play today, and luckily we held it down pretty good. Quentin Lake has really played well in the star position based off film. I mean, everyone's playing their best football at the time where it needed to happen, and that's now going down to the end of December and beginning of January. So We got a chance, everybody, and let's keep praying to those football gods out there to bless us.
All right. Well, hey, appreciate you as always, and looking forward to talking with you next week after a hopeful Rams win. And by the way, they don't have to win in crazy fashion next week. I'll take 10-3. I'll take 2-0. Like, just get it done.
Damn, give me that Jeff Fisher 6-3.
Yeah.
I don't care. Just give me that W, baby.
Yeah.
Remember,
Cardinals are still a 2-10 team. The Browns are 7-4. We got to give them some grace there. If they come out of that game winning 3-0, it's a win.
I'm taking it, man. And let's keep the faith, everybody. And remember, you run the damn football with Kyren, good things happen. Simple as that.
Absolutely. All right, man. Well, you be well, and we'll talk soon.
Yes, you as well. We'll talk next week.
All right. Later, my guy. Okay, guys. So, yeah, just, I'll keep bringing people on. But, yeah, just, again, can't stress it enough. Really important day at the office for the Rams. They took up, this opportunity here. It wasn't easy, but, to win 2 straight in the NFL is not something that's easy to be done. And it's something I haven't done all year. And I think it's important. A lot of firsts today for the Rams. And so that, the way they played today, they can beat anybody. And that's important. So let's move on here and let's bring on Scoot, since I haven't heard from Scoot in a minute. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, we're here?
We're here. What's up, buddy?
We're here. What an absolute ass whooping that the Rams just opened up in Arizona. 9 straight in the desert, by the way.
Yeah.
Masterclass. Everyone's gonna be talking about Kyren. No one's gonna be talking about Matthew Stafford throwing 4 tuds on the day.
No. Nope.
Matthew Stafford had one of his best games of the year, the best game of the year. I don't even care about that pick. That didn't lead to any points.
Yeah. He was great.
Matthew Stafford, he's back. He's back. He's throwing another 4 next week. And then he's going to throw 3 the week after that. And we're going to beat San Francisco week 18. And we're going to be going into the playoffs. We're going to be playoff bound. Seattle talked all that trash after we swept them. Look at their schedule. We are finishing 2nd in the division. And we are going to the playoffs. We're going to the dance. And we are going to make noise. Because that's what this team does in the playoffs. We make noise.
Yeah. Well, look, I'll say this. Today, the way they played, first off, they needed this. But second, it was like the rest of the league should be a little concerned. Because the Rams for a while were that team, like, yeah, they got a lot of, like, really talented players and all that. And, they could put together a nice quarter or two, but, like, it's been 2 halves, and they've really struggled. Not today. And they also showed you
4 quarters today.
Yeah.
It was amazing. This is the type of football we needed. We needed this game. This is huge.
No, that absolutely.
I don't care if it's the 2-9. I don't care if it's the 2-9 Cardinals. It's a division matchup. Look at how much the Niners struggled with us when we faced them.
Yeah, I mean, well, and keep this in mind too. Everyone uses it one way. They always use the excuse, well, it's the Cardinals. You know them well. Well, they also know the Rams well. They saw Kyren Williams. They had 4 weeks to prepare for him to come back off of the IR, 5 weeks. And, they were not ready. And I don't think they'd be ready for a 3rd game. That's just the way it is. I think the Rams.
The league is ready for Kyren Williams. I don't think the league is ready.
Well, and then, I thought Royce ran well as well.
Kyren Williams is a top 10 running back in the NFL right now.
Yeah, when he got hurt, he was top 6 in every metric. Pretty crazy when you think about that.
He's amazing. That dude's nuts.
So,
he went crazy today.
The last time I talked to you, you were pretty, positive this team was going to turn things around. You were in my camp, and you've never really gotten off that train. So I gotta give you credit for that.
This is not This is not a team that tanks. I don't care how bad this team looks. We're young. This is one of the youngest rosters in the NFL. But you have Matthew Stafford. You have Cooper Kupp. You've got a rookie, Puka Nacua. You've got Steve Avila, who played out of his damn mind today. Let's talk about Steve Avila today. We got Jordan Fuller, who played out of his mind today. We got dude, this was nuts. Everyone was on their A game today. Everyone. This was an elite game from this team.
It's also a good sign that, first off, the coaches had him prepared. Second, the bye definitely helped. They're the healthiest they've been all season. And I think the big thing here is that they responded from a win the best way they've done it all year. And that's hard to do. And there were, I know the older school fans, obviously not you and I and people that use Twitter, but people who don't use Twitter gave me an earful because they do not like the celebrating in the locker room on camera. And you get those older fans, not all of them, but some of them were like, I wouldn't be surprised if they lose next week because they're, staring at the press clippings. And I'm like, no. Nope. This is going to be a win that they build off on. This is going to be a launching point. And sure enough, today really felt like the beginning of that.
If you don't like our players celebrating in the locker room and turning up, sit on it and spin. I love seeing our players absolutely just rocking out and having a good time. I hate seeing this team miserable. That's not what I want. That's not what I want in my team. I want to see my team vibing in the locker room, getting along. Mr. Matthew Stafford doesn't know how to connect with his teammates.
Yeah, and another thing here, because, you'll see the NBA and you'll see LeBron James after, a Lakers win, and he barely even really shows emotion. And I think what people fail to see is that when you play 82 games in the NBA versus 17 in the NFL, like, it's not just a regular season game. Every game matters. And so I have no issue with celebrating in the locker room after a win. I don't have any issue celebrating in the locker room after any win because it's hard to win in any professional sport. The margin for error is so slim. It's hard to win in the NHL, the MLB, the NFL, the NBA. I don't see the big deal because the thing is, like, you turn it around, the 24-hour rule, in full effect. There's a reason why there is a 24-hour rule in the NFL. It's like, basically, look, enjoy the win, soak it up. Let's get back to work in 24 hours. There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with celebrating for a day. These next couple games, we got a real shot at finishing second in this division. I think we beat the Browns. I don't know if we beat the Ravens. I think we beat the Commies. I think we beat the Saints. I know we beat the Giants. And then I think we can beat the Niners week 18. I think we're gonna be pissed January 7th when we face the San Francisco 49ers. That team's gonna be pissed.
Yeah, no, I think the Rams are going to look like a completely different team than they did week 2 against the 49ers. And I'll be honest with you, that team, a little bit healthier, might have won that game, And so I think, look, the Niners, there's a lot there. And I think part of me does believe that they can win a Super Bowl. But at the same time, man, do you think the Niners would want to see the Rams in the first round of the playoffs playing the third time?
Absolutely not. They don't want to see the Rams first round of the playoffs. We're going to have Debo shaking in his boots, in his cleats.
And I'll say this.
We're going to have Purdy scared. Purdy's going to look across. He's going to see Aaron Donald. He's going to see Kobe Turner. He's going to see Byron Young. How about Kobe Turner today? 2 sacks on the day for the conductor.
He was great.
My dog.
He was great.
Absolutely love Kobe Turner.
One thing I'll say, watching Thanksgiving games, getting really frustrated with the Lions because they, couldn't beat the Packers for the Rams. But here's what I'll say. Watching that game, I saw opportunity. If the Rams did play the Lions, I think the Rams do win that game. I think Stafford would win in his return to Ford Field, even in the playoffs. And I think the Rams, there are a lot of people in that Rams organization that know Jared Goff well. Don't you think that they could win that game? I really do. I think that'd be their best matchup, honestly, in the playoffs if they ended up facing them.
I think if we play like we did today and we stick to the plan, we play a complete game, we can beat it. This team that played today can beat any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
Any team. There's no team we can't go toe to toe with. We play like we did today.
No, I agree with that.
None.
And it goes to show you how important Kyren Williams was to all this, because he's the engine, man. He's as important to this team as Todd Gurley was to the early McVay teams. I mean, I hope people realize that now.
Kyren's insane. Our offense really fell off when Kyren got hurt, and now he's back. He said he's 150% coming into this game. Prayers for any of you who kept him on your bench today. I would have never done that in a million years. I see everyone had Kyren on the bench today.
Oh, yeah, definitely not me.
Dude said he's 150% on Friday. Well, you really think that Kyren Williams says he's 150% and don't mean it? That dude's a dog.
He could have played against Seattle. He just wasn't eligible. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah, I wish
he
would have too. I wish he would have.
Yeah, it's because the IR. It's not 4 weeks. It's 4 games.
Not 4 weeks.
Yeah, so the bye didn't count. So that was annoying. But
we didn't need him. We didn't need him. We swept the Seahawks. We swept the Cardinals. We're 4-1 in the division.
Yeah,
we're going crazy within our division games.
No, you're right. And the Rams have a chance to go 5-1 week 18. They also have a chance to do a lot more before that. Any final thoughts before I let you go, my friend?
Yeah, final thoughts. We're making the playoffs. We're winning a playoff game. I don't care what anyone says. This is a team that's going to make some noise. We might not be a Super Bowl contender, but this is a team that's got no quit, 0 quit in these dogs on this team. None. Absolutely none. This team is going to the playoffs. We're going to make some noise, and we're going to win some damn games.
Hey, I'm here for it, and I do agree. I feel like they can definitely... I mean, I don't even want to put a stamp on it. You know what I mean? I don't even want to say they can win a game or two. Like, I mean, who knows? who has Super Bowl experience in the NFC outside of Matthew Stafford and Jalen Hurts?
Not a one.
Not one. Exactly. So
not a one.
I don't know. I mean, would you take Dak Prescott? Would you take Desmond Ridder? Would you take Brock Purdy? Would you take Josh Dobbs? I mean, that's when you start to get a little interesting there, when you're like, experience might matter if it, comes down to it. So you just got to get in the damn thing. But Scoot, appreciate you as always. Your passion is always welcome and appreciated. And I know I'm not the only one saying that, because the comment section is literally saying you're their spirit animal and that they love you. And yeah, I mean, I think you already know all this. You're very well received, but just figured I'd let you know again.
I love it. I love this team. I love this fan base. All the doomers, keep your mouths shut. All the Niner fans that come in your comments, keep your mouths shut. We're going to beat that Niner ass on January 7th. Book it.
Hey, you heard it here from Scoot. Appreciate you, my friend.
Appreciate it. Have a good one. Love everyone. God bless.
You too. Take care. All right. That was electric. All right, let's see here. Let's go. Garrett, how goes it?
You got me, Jake?
I got you. How you doing?
How you doing, my man? Long time no talk.
Yeah, how you been, man?
Good, man. Just been busy, staying with the grind, trying to get ready for these holidays. But man, does this Rams game today make that a whole lot easier?
Yeah. No, I can imagine, man. It's business is always booming. Maybe not literally for most people, but for me, yes, when the Rams are winning. What were your thoughts about this game?
I mean, it was everything you wanted out of the Rams against the Cardinals. I mean, I think it's been we're kind of spoiled when we play the Cardinals. I think a lot of people expected the win and expected to just kind of dominate the Cardinals as we usually do. But I think, coming into this game, Kyler Murray being back, with how inconsistent the Rams have been game to game, it was never a surefire thing that we were gonna take that win. So for them to go out, did what they did, let Kyren Williams loose, and win 37-14, that's exactly what you want from them.
Yeah, outstanding performance. And from the young guys, too. I mean, Kyren's a second-year guy. Kobe Turner's a rookie. Just seeing guys like that step up in a big way. Jordan Fuller, I mean, I know he's at the end of his contract, but he's still young, you know? Just seeing these guys step up in a big way was huge down the stretch. Now, you know, the next 3 games, you got, you know, the Browns, the Ravens, and then you have the Commanders, you know, week 14. Or sorry, week 15. How do you see those 3 going? Do you think they win out? Do you think they win 2 of the 3? I mean, how are you seeing it?
You know, I think it's a real interesting 3 games. I've had this Browns game marked on the calendar for a while for a couple reasons. One, that'll be the first game I'll be in attendance for this year, which will
Nice.
be awesome. And then 2, that defense is, you know, one can argue that's the best in the league.
Yeah.
And for this Rams offense, with how inconsistent they've been over this season, this was going to be a real true test. Now with Myles Garrett potentially being hurt, I think, you know, and with you know, it sucks that the Browns have all these injuries. Well, maybe besides Deshaun Watson, but you know, that's besides the point.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
It's lining up more and more that the Rams should, and you know, they need to win, I think, because skipping over that Commanders game, that Ravens game is not looking good to me. Even with the Rams' success recently, the history with the Ravens, the way that the Rams deal with running quarterbacks, and just the way that Harbaugh runs that offense, I find that this defense is going to struggle heavy with the Ravens offense, and that Ravens defense is no joke either. Obviously, I'm sure you're keeping an eye on the Chargers-Ravens game as well right now too, but we're going to see how they look going into that game, but I honestly don't like our odds in the Ravens game, so that's why I think it's huge that the Rams need to beat the Browns and beat the Commanders, which I think they should beat the Commanders handily.
Yeah, it's interesting because that Ravens game, like if they somehow pull that off, I mean that could be huge. I mean, that's one I've already kind of penciled in a loss for. So yeah, I mean, notice I didn't say written in ink because no game is written in ink.
Given Sunday.
Yeah,
any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday. I will say this team is 3-3 on the road. They've won 3 of their 5 games on the road. They're a better road team, I think. I think they're tested. You know, they've gone against some tough environments, and so, you know, I think just seeing the way that they've played and the way they've gotten prepared for those you know, cross-country East Coast trips, I wouldn't rule out an upset against the Ravens. I don't think it's going to happen, but as of right now, I mean, I don't know. You get to week 14, you get closer, we start talking about Ravens football, you know, that game might be a different story. But, yeah, I mean, that's really the one game that's always scared me. Like, I think they have more of a chance of winning the Niner game than that one. But we'll see. But do you have the Rams making the playoffs?
As of right now, I'm saying that they can squeeze in there right now. Obviously, I really do think that this Browns game is going to be a huge tell on whether or not they are going to be a playoff team or not.
Yeah.
Regardless, you know, if they win, but how they win against this Browns team that's really banged up, you know, I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say that they can sneak into the playoffs. You know, as for winning a playoff game, I'm not too sure. You know, there's a lot of outcomes depending on who we face. But I mean, after what you saw today, I don't see why you can't make the argument that they can be a playoff team.
Yeah, I mean, obviously got to put it together week in and week out, but they looked really good today. A lot of really quality execution, running those screens. Everybody has to be doing their thing. And I think that was the key is, great play calling, great execution, and just never taking your foot off the gas. And that, I think, is a big thing. So
O-line was phenomenal today.
Yeah, they were.
Steve Avila, by the way, is an absolute monster in the run game. I mean, what a pickup he has been. I don't think people are singing his praises enough. Of all the rookies that we have, Puka Nacua, Byron Young, the conductor, Kobe Turner, all those guys deserve all their flowers, but I feel like Steve Avila is not getting talked about enough. He has done so well slotting in at left guard. And considering the up and down nature of Alaric Jackson's play, for him to be playing at a high level, in his rookie season the way he is just phenomenal.
Yeah. No, it really is. I've been really impressed with all of them, really. And just, obviously looking down the road, you might want to upgrade certain spots, but I thought today they were all great, just great protections. I thought it was great using the tight ends and getting Davis Allen involved a little bit, Tyler Higbee with 2 touchdowns. And I think the most important thing is when your best players like Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua can't get going, how do you find other ways? And I thought the Rams did a really nice job of that. Any final thoughts before I let you go, my friend?
I guess real quick, there was one name that I didn't hear a lot today, and that was really good because he's a cornerback. But Jake, I know you follow me on Instagram, so I'm sure you may have caught me maybe flaming Darion Kendrick's play a little bit, or
You're not the only one.
Or just we'll call it complaining about Darion Kendrick. But I gotta say, these last 2 weeks, he's really shut me up, and he's really shown kind of, I think, what the Rams saw in him, drafting him on the third day. And it was that, after he basically got benched in the Green Bay game.
Yeah.
He has to come back into the lineup, and he comes out and plays his best game that he's played as a pro against the Seahawks, and plays another really solid game today. When I say solid game, for his standards, it's like he didn't make any mistakes that I saw. Obviously looking at tape, maybe there's a couple little things, but I didn't see anything wrong with him today, so I really hope that keeps up. And yeah, also I think Santa Claus is going to be buying a lot of Kyren Williams jerseys to give out to Rams fans in the coming too.
Yeah. No, I hear you. It's gonna be a given there. He's turning into quite the superstar. But hey, appreciate you hopping on, man. It was nice talking with you again.
Always, man. I'll try and come on more too.
I appreciate it.
All right, Jake. Take care, bro.
All right, later, Garrett. Okay, guys. So let's see here. Still got lots of people left. Let's see here. B-Train, how you doing?
Hey, Jake.
How's it going, my friend?
Pretty good, pretty good.
That's
Nothing
good.
like
Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. It seems like there's a little bit of a lag.
Hold on 1 second. There we go. Let's see. Is that any better?
Sounds it, yeah.
All right. So, good Lord, let me get one, I guess, negative thing off that I saw today that concerns me, and then the rest is all positive.
Sounds good.
Our field goal kicker.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. He was the only player on the team who was a disappointment today. Now, watching him early in the game when he was making the extra points, and I kept saw him shoving the ball to the right, and he was barely kind of making those extra points. I was like, oh no, this is going to be a problem. And sure enough, when we had that big long field goal attempt in the second quarter, the one he missed, and I knew it. I said, he's going to push this to the right just like he's done all of his extra points, and he sure as heck did. You could see it coming.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they do about it. I don't know if this was I just don't think he has enough experience at this point because, I mean, this is his third game, so, but it's a concern. When we go up against these tougher teams, we're going to need those 3 points, to either going to win or lose in a real tight game. So something on the radar, but the rest of it, great stuff. Everybody performing well today. They were on their game. Higbee was finally blocking good for a change. The O-line played solid, and Stafford did pretty good. I'm still concerned about Cooper Kupp. How many yards did he get in this game? Does anybody know?
Let me pull that up for you. Let's see. He had 18 yards on 3 receptions. I think he got hurt early on, and then they kind of just used him as a decoy the rest of the game.
Yeah.
That was my
I think he's
take.
kind of. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with the decoy part because, and in fact, I think he's been kind of a decoy the last 2-3 games where he's only been getting 25 here, 29 there, kind of thing. Minus the one play that Rippon threw down the field in that one game, but
oh, good God.
that he actually did something. It was one of his 3 passes he threw that was worth a darn. But other than that, like I said, Cooper Kupp, I'm still concerned with him because he is obviously still hurt. They just need to set him down, just let him heal for so that he can be more than just a decoy, because eventually the teams are going to pick up on that and say, you know what, he's not even a threat right now, and they're going to go on to Puka and Atwell a little bit more, and maybe that's when Kupp starts to get going again. Who knows? But
yeah, I mean, we'll definitely see, because I mean, yeah, this is the worst 5-game stretch of Cooper Kupp's career, and it's not even close. He just had over 100 yards in those 5 games. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think this win was almost more impressive that, Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua hardly do anything in this game, and they still win by 23. Now, my questions for you. First off, next 3 games, you got the Browns next week. You have the Ravens after that, and then the Commanders. We'll start with those 3. How do you see the Rams' record being in those 3? Do you think they win all 3, win 2, lose 2? How do you see it?
Ooh, I guess it all depends on how we play. We play it like today, definitely 2 out of 3, maybe a 3 out of 3 if we play like we did today. So it depends on how banged up the Browns are next week. I didn't pay attention too much to what happened to them as far as injuries and things like that, whether Garrett or somebody else got hurt. But
Yeah.
If the Browns come in limping and injured, we stand a pretty good chance, especially with the backup quarterback. I don't know how their quarterback's doing right now. We should handle the Commanders pretty easily, and of course, we're gonna have a hard time with the Ravens. So, I'm optimistic for 2 out of 3.
Yeah, that's how I see it. I think that Ravens game is just asking a lot, but I still think it could be a close game. I think they got a shot of winning. I just think, if they play the way they did today, I think they'll beat anybody. But it's just a matter of keeping this week in and week out. And I'm hoping they build upon this because, hey, the best time to start doing different things is right away when you're struggling. And the Rams did that. Today, this is the first time the Rams have won responding to a win. They have not been able to string together wins this year. They've been broken up. So this would be the time. They're looking at a 3-game win streak if they take down the Browns at SoFi. You can't go to SoFi and disappoint your fan base, especially a fan base that I think is going to be a legit home crowd, home field advantage against the Browns.
Here's one thing though, and this is going to happen. As soon Kyren Williams should not be on anybody's should be on everybody's radar right now. After seeing what he's done the last 2 or 3 times he's been in the game, people are going to start game planning for him and daring Matthew Stafford and that messed up thumb to start winning. They used to stack the deck against Gurley, daring Goff to win. They're going to do the same thing with Kyren Williams sooner or later to shut him down and dare Stafford and banged up Kupp and often injured Nakua to step up. It's coming.
Yeah, I do think this is where I think having Stafford just kind of, makes them so scary, because with Kyren Williams, it's like, even if you start putting 8, 9, 10 guys in the box, now you're giving Stafford an extra guy, and he'll find that open guy. And that's the thing. It's like Rippon, you could do that. Slow mental processor, doesn't have a great arm, at all, accuracy, strength, whatever. Stafford's different. Stafford can throw all different arm angles, all different, areas of the field. He's got some mobility too. I'm tired of hearing how Stafford is a statue. I mean, the way he moves around, I don't know, man. It's sure fun to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone saw that hop step, like he was doing a Euro step going to the hoop, but that was cool. And when he got out of trouble there, but final question for you: does this team make the playoffs?
Yes, with a small caveat.
Okay.
If we go 2-3 in these next 2 games and beat the Browns and beat the Commanders, I would be 98% sure we're going into that playoffs.
I think that's fair.
Because the rest of that, minus San Francisco at the end, but we may not even need that. Who knows?
Yeah.
The rest of the games, the Saints, we should handle that pretty good. But these next 3 games are going to be, and then the 49ers are going to be the challenge. But I think if we get 2 out of 3 of the next ones, yeah, I feel pretty good about our chances.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I do too. I mean, I think they can still beat the Ravens. I'm going to pick the Ravens to win as of right now. Ask me in 2 weeks. It might be a little bit different. We'll see how they respond against a really tough Browns defense. But yeah, appreciate you.
Yep.
Appreciate you as
sir.
always. And let's talk next week, hopefully after a win.
Absolutely, sir. Appreciate you. Have a great week.
You too. Take care, P-Train.
All right. Bye now.
Bye. All right. Let's go with Eric. What's up, Eric?
Yo, can you hear me, Jake?
Yeah, how's it going?
Good, how are you doing?
I'm good, man. Glad they won the way they did. What were your thoughts on the game?
I was happy. I was very happy with what I saw of what I could see. I was actually driving back home from the holiday. I was in the middle of a 5-hour drive. So, I had it on in the car, like plugged in so I could hear it. And then, like if I was in like traffic or something, like bumper to bumper stopped, I like glanced real quick. And it was, from what I was hearing, it was a great game. I was able to very quickly see like Kyren break off a few really nice runs. That was really, really fun to hear. I'm sure Alexis is completely like hyped. she was always the Kyren truther. So
yeah,
seeing him pull out, like I haven't seen a running back on this team do that since Todd Gurley. And the one run I saw his 60-something yard run, and it felt like it was a Gurley run until he got caught at the end. But like Gurley was insane, and I don't think hardly any running back would have scored that touchdown. And I'm just happy we finally have a really good running back again.
No, absolutely. I absolutely agree with you, and I thought Freeman did well. I thought the run blocking was on par with what you want it to be. Yeah, I don't know, man. That this win was very satisfying because it just, you could have had 41 if the field goal kicker Haversick hits a field goal and an extra point, but just, sticking with what happened and everything. I mean, to score 37 points any game in the NFL is impressive. And I mean, it took the Rams until week 12 to do something like that. So, you can't take that for granted, but I also think it kind of shows just a maturity and growth on the part of this young team. How this team never wavered. They were blown out one time in the Dallas game. I think that Dallas game is very misleading because they were on the way trying to make a comeback. Still half of the third quarter left over after they scored and had the extra the 2-point conversion. And then Stafford's ruled out for the game. So, and then it kind of snowballs. And so for me, I don't know if I would say, the blowout was really indicative of like a lack of effort and whatnot. I thought they tried to get back into it, just became too difficult. The Packer game ended up being, a 17-point loss when in reality they were in the game the entire time. That's, again, quarterback play, kind of stems with Rippon. So, I don't know, just the way I look at it, it's McVay coming off the bye, addressing the different things. Okay, you did this. Where was this? Where was this? And, why did we barely beat the Seahawks? Why do we need what can we do differently? And I thought this week they did a lot differently. Arizona shot themselves in the foot a little bit, but the Rams, for the most part, dominated them. And there weren't any unforced errors. Like the Rams forced pressure. The Rams, forced coverages. The Rams forced the defensive hand in the run game. I think that's what, was most impressive about it. There was just a lot of growth.
Yeah, I think this was the first complete game we've seen from our team. Both halves, a couple games, our second half was really good. Another couple games, I think we were all right in the first half, like against in the Colts game. But this is the first game where we were great the whole game, and I'm happy we finally we were finally able to do it.
No, same here. I mean, again, this year it's been frustrating. I mean, this team shouldn't be 5-6. We could go on and on and on about they should probably be 8-3, but sticking to it, that's what they are. You are what your record is, and man, I'm really impressed, with their ability to respond. And also, again, for the people that just are like, yeah, this team was bad. I never had any expectations for this team. How do you feel right now? Because this team's 5-6 and they're 1 win away and 2 losses for other teams of being the 7th seed, just like that. So
yeah, I feel good about our chances of making the playoffs. But I don't think the Packers are. They gotta lose one sometime, a few. They're not that good of a team, I don't think. And our games, our Seahawks are probably gonna lose 3 in a row. They play the 49ers twice, and I think was it the Eagles or something?
Yeah, they have. The 49ers they already lost to. They got Dallas at home next week on the road.
Dallas, yeah,
in Dallas. Then they have the Niners at Levi's, and then they go and they go back to Seattle and they play Philly. And I don't know. I mean, I'll say this about the Packers. They've won 3 of the last 4. Of those 4 teams, Rams are 5-6. The Steelers have a winning record. They lost to them. The Chargers are 4-6, I believe. And the Lions have a winning record, and their defense, I mean, anybody can kind of throw on their defense right now. They got the Chiefs. That at Giants game is going to be very fascinating. I'll tell you that right now. The Giants are the weirdest team maybe ever. I don't know. Sometimes they're able to get things going with that offense, and I don't understand it.
I saw what happened with the Patriots. I can't believe they beat the Patriots 10-7. That's crazy.
Yeah, I thought
Like,
they were legitimately
good,
tanking.
Yeah, the Patriots aren't good, but I mean, Bill Belichick, I would assume, would be able to get a win out of that. But I don't know. I didn't watch the game, so I don't know what happened exactly.
I mean, I know the Packers have an easier schedule, but that Bears game is not a guarantee. In Minnesota is not a guarantee. In Carolina is not a guarantee. Just because I feel like, I don't know, that young team, you grow up later on the year. I thought the Panthers played decent today. They probably could have won if Thomas Brown called plays and not Frank Reich. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not really sure how it's going to go. Tampa's an interesting one. The Packers really have to lose that game against the Chiefs, in my opinion. I think that's a must
They
lose
should.
for the Rams. I think they do need that help. But, aside from that, I mean, we're going to see. It's an any given Sunday. Any of these teams can win, just like any of the teams that we're saying the Rams are going to beat. Any of them can win. Final thing here for you. Do the Rams make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they do. I wanted to ask who's in front of us besides the Seahawks and Packers, like for the wild card spots.
Yeah, just the Dallas Cowboys, the Vikings, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Rams. That's 5 through 9.
So either the Vikings or the Packers are going to take one of those spots, and then we'll take the Seahawks spot. I'm pretty confident about that.
Hopefully. We'll see. It wouldn't help for the Vikings to lose against the Bears. That way there's an option there. And I wouldn't mind taking the 6th seed if that's possible, but we'll see what ends up happening. But
I feel like if we had beat the Packers, 6 seed would have been like much more achievable. But
yeah.
Unfortunately, we had to wait. We had to start Frederick first before we replace him. So I don't know why, but
yeah, exactly. But hey, man, appreciate you hopping on, and I'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, it's always great talking to you, Jake. Go Rams. I'll see you.
Likewise, my friend. Take it easy.
You too.
All right, guys. So I had 2 super chats I want to read. Mark, thank you for the 5. All right, so I have to say I was half right with Cup playing. We were going to see awful 3rd and long wide receiver screen, but our play calling was better overall. Yeah, there was a pretty bad bubble screen on 3rd and long to Ben Skoranek. I think that was the only bad play call, I would say, the entire game. So I'll take it. Thanks again for the 5, Mark. Appreciate you. Monty, my friend, how you doing? Thank you for the 5, my brother Jake. That's another big W. Let's go Ramley. Yeah, that was huge, and the way they won, just the manner, that was also a big deal. Right now, the Chargers lead the Ravens. Start of the set. Oh, not the start, but there's 12:53 left in the second. Chargers are up 3-0 in LA against the Ravens. Okay, let's see here. Ooh, we got Falco. What's good?
Oh, what's up, Jake? Dude, I'm so happy right now with this win. It's been
smiling ear to ear.
Yeah, smiling ear to ear. First time we played a complete game since, I can argue, San Francisco week 2. I can say we arguably played a complete game there, but outside of that, it's been a tale of 2 halves all season except for today. Dude, can I just say is that Kyren Williams has been our best running back ever since Todd Gurley.
Oh yeah.
Like
he's been awesome.
He proved it today. Over 200 total yards of offense. 2 touchdowns, one of them rushing, one of them receiving. He went off today. He proved why the Rams traded up for him inside the draft in 2021 or was it 2022? I forgot.
Yeah, it was 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah,
traded up for him.
it's crazy when you think about it, because I mean, you could argue he's one of the best players on the team.
Yep.
He turned 23 in August, so he's still young, you know, and that I think that's, especially as a running back, I mean, that's good stuff.
Age matters a lot more for running backs, knowing how easily they can break down because of just the nature of the position.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's very, very possible, and very likely, honestly, when you get to that certain age. So,
right. And then,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
All right. I was also going to say, like, not a lot of people are going to mention Jordan Fuller's game today, but I thought Jordan Fuller had an awesome bounce back game today, breaking up 4 passes, 4 crucial passes too, by the way. Like, he came clutch.
Yeah,
also Tyler Higbee had a bit of a bounce back too, having 2 of the receiving touchdowns as well.
Yeah, it was definitely Higbee, a big day at the office for Higbee to get in the end zone twice.
Dude, awesome to see Higbee having that bounce back because he needed it this year.
Oh, yes, he did.
Higbee did not look like Higbee until this game.
Yeah, I mean, even still,
and it looks,
you can tell he's not at 100% him. But again, it just kind of goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of the show. Like, the fact the Rams found a way to not only win, but blow out the team they were playing against when Kupp was in check, when Puka Nacua was held in check, when Tyler Higbee was, I mean, it's impressive. It really is, because it just shows you that there's not really much in the way. When you could play at this level, you can find other guys to get going. This is depth. I mean, people said that this team doesn't have depth, but, you know, I'm seeing Kyren Williams go for 140.
DeMarcus Robinson had a couple of snaps too.
Yeah. I mean, he caught, I think, a couple. So, yeah, I mean, you had him. Royce Freeman, you know, went over 70 yards. I mean, I don't agree with the idea that they don't have depth. I
don't agree with it either. Yeah. Maybe at certain positions, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, but, you know, offensive line, they might not have as much depth as I thought coming into the season, but it's still fine. You know, there are not many teams that are in the position the Rams are in right now. And find me a team as healthy as the Rams.
Ooh, that is true. Like, like most teams at this point in the season are banged up right now.
Yeah.
And especially like Minnesota, I'm looking at, who's a team who's really banged up, who lost their QB to an Achilles. Now they're starting Josh Dobbs. We'll see how that goes, but I'm seeing that. All I'm going to say is that Seattle and Minnesota could have a rude awakening, and on top of that, we might not even need the Packers to lose to get a playoff spot. If that sounds crazy enough. Yeah. Depending on how certain things fall.
No, that's true. The Vikings game tomorrow, Monday Night Football, that's very interesting. It's not crucial for the Rams to get into the playoffs, but it does make their journey a little bit easier. You know, if the Bears win that game, it's estimated to go up to a Rams playoff berth, goes up to 45% if they do win against the Browns. So that's just, you know, including a Browns win and a Bears win on Monday Night Football this week. Then you look at, you know, the Chiefs, they beat the Packers. You know, then that goes up to,
I think, over 50, right?
47. And then you have the Cowboys take down the Seahawks, and that goes above 50. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they will, and keep in mind, if you're above 50 at that point, you're in the playoffs. Like, you know, that's the thing. Like, if you're above 50, the season could end and you're in the playoffs. So that's what's all about, getting that 7th or 6th seed, the 7th seed, you know, really.
Yeah, 7th. Yeah.
And I mean, it's going to be interesting because really it's the Packers, it's the Vikings, it's the Rams, it's the Seahawks. If Seattle beats the Cowboys, it really does kind of change things a little bit. I don't see it at all.
I don't see it either, especially knowing is that just now news came out is that Shaquille Leonard is going to visit the Cowboys on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean,
also something very interesting with the Browns game next week is that Myles Garrett was reportedly having his left arm in a sling and that he was struggling to put on a shirt.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
that could be something to keep an eye out for, to see if Myles Garrett does play against us next week or not. Because I think that would be massive if he doesn't.
So if every playoff scenario that would benefit the Rams happened in week 13, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Rams would have a 73% chance at the end of week 13.
73.
Yeah, it would go up to 73.
That goes from like what, 26, 27 all the way to 73. That's insane. That's an insane jump.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I had something else checked.
Oh.
So it would be 52%. So if
52.
The Rams beat the Ravens in week 14, that jumps over 80.
Okay. Yeah, but I don't know how likely that is. But I don't know. If something happens with Baltimore, which greatly impacts them, then maybe there's a chance. But as of right now, I don't know with Baltimore. But either way, I'm very excited about this team's potential to push for a playoff spot.
Oh, yeah, I am too. Do you think they get it done?
I think so. Like, with the way we're playing right now, with how the offense finally meshed Cooper Kupp with the rest of the offense, I generally thought the missing piece was Kyren. With how well Kyren played today. Like, he showed why the Rams were so passive on not getting a running back in the trade deadline.
You know, I thought that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Running backs that can catch out of the backfield, can pass protect, can run, just like actual run, can read blocks and things like that. Those are engines. Todd Gurley was an engine. Cam Akers was not an engine. Darrell Henderson was an engine at times, but not on the level of what we're seeing with Kyren.
Right.
I think that's fair, because I don't want to take anything away from Darrell. Darrell had games where you're like, damn, 100 yards, 2 touchdowns receiving. That game against the Giants, you know, the Super Bowl year. But, you know,
it's not like Kyren is doing right now. Like, Kyren is legitimately looking like prime Todd Gurley with his ability to catch out the backfield, with how well his vision is.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing that he doesn't have is the speed.
Right.
That's the only thing. I mean, you know.
Yeah, but again, though, like, he just came off a high ankle sprain, so maybe the speed does come back a little bit as he gets healthier.
He was never that fast, though. So, you know, that's the thing, is that, like, those longer explosives are going to look a little ridiculous. Like, they're going to look like he's about to get caught up to. Because he did
today with the 56-yard explosive.
Yeah, and that's okay. I mean, you can live with that. You know, good teams shouldn't have any issue scoring off that. But yeah, it definitely is something. So I guess actually I asked you my final question. So do you have any final thoughts?
My final thoughts are that also Kobe Turner has looked really good.
Yes.
He's proven a lot of us wrong, honestly, with his draft selection, that the Rams did their research on him and are developing him the right way. Because, like, most of us were skeptical, at least on here, on his potential with us and how well he could play for us, but he's been showing now. Also for Trey Tomlinson, I know some people were trashing on him when he got to play in like final 6 or so minutes. I'm going to say that it's good for him to get those reps out of the way, and for him to learn how to like play with his size. Because the problem with him is that his size, it can be very easy for the officials to throw a PI when he's just trying to make a play on the ball.
No,
like, for example,
I agree.
Like,
it's
when he let
good
up
to get him
that
tested
touchdown,
out.
like when he let up that touchdown, like I thought there was no other way for him to play that, because if he will play more aggressive, then that will have been a DPI on him. And also, in my opinion, he got that pick 6 on Kyler, but that illegal touching thing or holding was BS in my opinion. That should not have been called.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I don't know. They had Sean Smith is absolutely terrible. He's a terrible official. I don't think he's ever had a good game. Everything I watch is just it's ref ball.
Awful. Ref ball. And they were trying to hand Arizona a little bit of juice at the end of the game to try to make it
definitely were. Like a legitimate push off by Hollywood Brown, and they call it twice on the defense. I don't know.
And they called that twice on the defense when Marquise Brown got the push off of Trey Tomlinson, by the way, who's 5'8".
Yeah, just
that should show you how truly terrifying Trey Tomlinson is as a player and his potential. Because if Marquise Brown, who's a option 1 for the Cardinals, is pushing off of him to make a play, his potential sky high. I view that as, again, he had to make an illegal play.
Yeah.
Just to get around him.
No, I hear you, man.
Like, I'm so high on Trey, and I hope he develops into one hell of a player for us. I think he has as much potential as, like, a Jalen Ramsey coming out, and that's insane. Like, because he won, like, the Jim Thorpe Award. He has that NFL background. Like, Trey's potential to me is infinite at this point.
I mean, he looked really good in the preseason.
He did.
He got glowing reviews in camp, but yeah, we'll see what ends up happening.
We'll see. But hey, I'm happy with the Rams win today. Let's hopefully beat Cleveland next week, and we'll see what happens with the rest of the NFC playoff picture as that happens.
Absolutely, man. All right, well, you take it easy, Falco, and I'll see you around soon.
You too, Jake. And by the way, guys, go check out the Kick streams if he ever streams on Kick.
I'm streaming now.
Yeah, I know. But again, though, like for
I know what you mean.
Content stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, see you around, Jake.
All right, see you, Falco. All right, Deb W, Mark Xavier, son of Rams, R. Trounde. Sorry if I butchered that. Caesar. Appreciate you guys. I see you guys over on Kick. Didn't want you guys to think that I didn't notice. All right. Alexis Kraft just checking in to say Kyren Williams is him. And if you disagree, you're wrong. I don't disagree. We both had 100+ yard game, I think, for Kyren, like the prediction wise. So I don't. Yeah, I think we both nailed it, honestly. Let's see here. We both had the touchdown too. Okay. You said 2 touchdowns? Oh, you nailed it then. What else did we shit. What else did we say? Well, I can't remember anything. Well, was this the first week I didn't pick Tutu Atwell? This is probably the first week I didn't pick Tutu Atwell because I was just tired of it. I'm like, they're never going to use him. I think I picked Cooper Kupp and Aaron Donald with a sack. And Kella Witherspoon with the interception, I think it was. Yeah. I think that's what it was. I agree with that, Caesar. Although I do think this team makes the playoffs. You did say Darion Kendrick interception. Does that count, by the way? Because it was on kind of a dead ball play. It's not considered like an actual play. Yeah, they don't count it. That's not right, man. I don't know how you don't count an interception on a 2-point conversion. That's bizarre to me. Absolutely bizarre. And the Rams didn't get any turnovers. Technically, that doesn't count as a turnover. So, but yeah, that's crazy, man. He doesn't get an interception for that. Stat sheet does not show an interception. I'm looking right at it. Oh, also, the Ravens scored. Oh, it looks like they're driving again. Let's see here. Alexis, are you trying to come on? Trying to call in? Samuel, I do too. I think the Rams win next week. I think Seattle loses to Dallas, and I think the Packers lose to the Chiefs. The Rams would be the 7th seed if that was the case. Up to you, Alexis. You let me know. You're more than welcome to call in. I'm going to bring on Rusty now because I still have people in here, but yeah, just let me know. All right, Rusty, what's up?
Oh, good, Jake.
How you doing, man?
Wait, let me just put on my AirPods for a bit.
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Well, then, what a game, man.
Yeah, what were your thoughts on the game, man?
I was honestly thinking it was going to be a very close game because of the first drive. We did really good on offense, but then defense, oh my God. It was very infuriating, but then as soon as we kept scoring, I was like, okay, it was that type of game. But I was just happy we got Kyren back. That's one thing for sure.
Yeah, he's an engine, man. He's an engine, but yeah, I mean, I think looking at this game again, just coming off a win, they haven't been able to win coming off a win all year. So to see them do that, they haven't been able to really overcome their stars not really doing that well. So to see them do that with Kyren and, I thought once again, Raheem Morris, the defense, just really, really good. I mean, you look at, there were some, bumps in the road, I guess, to start. But once again, I mean, they come away with just they only give 14 points. In reality, they pretty much only gave up 8. Those last points were about as garbage time as it gets. So, yeah. But
man, those refs really screwed Trey Tomlinson out of a pick 6. I was so mad about that.
Oh, they were
such a ticky-tacky call, bro.
He is a bad official. Sean Smith, just not good.
I mean, we could have had a worse. We could have had a Jaguars officiated game or the Bills officiated game.
Yeah.
My God, those were terrible.
I know. It felt like the Texans were playing against the Jags and the refs. But Rusty, I'm going to ask you 2 questions here. First one. Rams next 3 games. You got the Browns at SoFi Stadium next week. You have the Ravens in Baltimore the week after, and then the Commanders. I believe that's also at SoFi Stadium. How do you see those 3 games going down following this game?
We can most likely, but 100% win the Browns game, but I don't know if we're going to have the same success we had today against them. Because I feel like they're going to be pretty pissed off because they lost to the Broncos. They're led by Mr. Unlimited himself. And I feel like we could win that game, but it all depends on our offensive line and Stafford and our defense because the Broncos seem to have a really good game plan against them, but it could be different for us. Maybe they can fix all their offensive woes and probably kick our shit in, but I feel we can win that game, but it all depends on Stafford, McVay, and everyone else. Execution. We can most likely win that game. Baltimore, we could put up a fight. I say we could put up a fight, but it's Lamar and that Baltimore defense kind of really worries me. But we could win that game, but I don't see how it's going to play out. So we have to wait to see. The Commanders, we can 100% win that game. Just like I said prior, it all determines on McVay and Stafford and then everyone executing. We can win those games, but most likely we can be 2-1 because I don't think Baltimore is going to want to lose to us, especially if Lamar running down our throats. We can realistically be 2-1, and I'll be happy with that record. So, yeah, I see us going 2-1. By some miracle, we could be 3-1. By some miracle.
Yeah, I see 2-1 as a likely scenario. If they beat the Ravens, the sky's the limit. You know, I really believe that. But yeah, so Rusty, I gotta ask you the big question, the final question here: do the Rams make the playoffs?
Well, yeah, we can make it, but I'm just hoping that we win more games consecutively compared to the Packers, because last thing I want to see is the Packers going to the freaking playoffs. Just because they gain confidence against they gain confidence against the backup QB, and the Lions, of course, losing on Thursday Night Football. But we can make the playoffs. It all depends on us, and it depends on the NFC to please help us get in there. We have an easier schedule, but I feel sorry for the Seahawks and the Cardinals. We can basically be the second in our division, but everything has to play in our favor, and we have to do our part. So we can realistically make it, just that we need to put in our part and actually win the games we're supposed to win, and let the rest of the football games be decided by the football gods and the other teams. Because I don't want to be in the hunt no more. I want to be that 6th seed or 7th seed. Last thing I want to see is the Packers make it before us by some stupid game that we should have won and could have won. So we could realistically make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Any given Sunday, Jake. Any given Sunday.
Any given Sunday, man. Hey, Rusty, appreciate you week in, week out. You're always here. I mean, there's sometimes you're a little, down in the dumps, and obviously there's been 6 times where the Rams have done that. It's all of us. So, it's nice to hear from you, obviously, when the sunny side is up, and appreciate you, man. All right. All right, guys. So I am going to, don't worry, I know there's a lot of people waiting. I'm going to bring on Alexis, who's the co-host of Downtown Rams, which you probably already knew that. If you've never checked out Downtown Rams, guess what? Don't have to go very far. It is right on this channel. And Alexis has her own YouTube channel. You could actually check her out in the comments section. So, yep. Wait, how do I do the @ There you go. There's Alexis. She has her own YouTube channel. At some point or another, not trying to put pressure on her, but she is going to start doing live streams again. So be on the lookout for that. We'll keep you posted too. Like when she starts doing that again, we'll probably have an announcement on Downtown Rams. But yeah, I don't know. It is on Discord. If you forgot. Let's see here. We're getting it set up right now. But yeah. Let's see. It's funny how many people keep misspelling Kyren. So there's all this like Karen's the engine. Karen is the best player on our offense. Karen carried us to victory today. It's just funny. Alexis, what's up?
Hey. Can you hear me? Can everybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you, and everyone can hear you.
Cool. I don't know how any of this works. I just do what you tell me, and then I click things.
Well, hey, we made it this far, so that's all that matters. Yeah, so what were your thoughts today? I feel like this is probably the most authentic it will ever get because we barely texted today. I don't know. You and I have been really busy. So
We've been busy, and I've been like sick. Like as you know, I've just kind of been like not moving and on the couch and in a daze. So yeah, we haven't really talked about this game as much as we normally would. I'm gonna put my AirPods in, so if you hear a weird noise, that's what that is.
Sounds good. Yeah, no, I actually not that I'm against texting you during the game, but I feel like this is cool because I mean, I have an idea of what you're going to say, but I don't know exactly what you're going to say. And I think let's just start off. Let's address the elephant in the room. Kyren Williams, who everyone is mispronouncing his name in the comments section. Kyren Williams has, big fan of Henderson. And for some of, Cam Akers' career, he was fun to watch. And I like Sony Michel to a degree. And I like Malcolm Brown. But Kyren Williams is the closest thing the Rams have had to Todd Gurley. And while he's not as athletically gifted as Todd Gurley, today really just felt like to come off like this injury where I saw an article, 66% of fantasy running backs do not return to the form following a high ankle sprain. And it takes about 2.5 games to get back to the original form. And just what Kyren did today, like put into words, I guess, just how you felt about the whole thing. Because obviously, I mean, you're the one that got me on the Kyren bandwagon before anybody really was talking about it. And I mean, now it's like, damn. I mean, we have a reaction, our draft show, we both reacted. I said famously, like right before he was picked, I was like, I think they might have traded up for Kyren Williams. But what were your thoughts? I think I lost you. I can't hear you. I know that. I think the AirPods are failing you right now. Kyloren? I'm looking at the chat right now. Alexis was just like, just totally dipped. This is funny. Let's see. Kylo Ren from Star Wars. Yeah. Blame it on the AirPods or the YouTube TVA, as Nolan would say. Or the Discord TVA. I don't know if there's a TVA. It says I'm in. You're in, but there's no audio. All right, let's try this. All right. You got me? Man, tech difficulties are fun. Oh, you took them out? Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Okay, now you're muted. Okay, now you're unmuted. That is true, Alex. It would not be a live stream without Jake and AK technical difficulties. It is tradition. Alexis, you there? Jake's highlighter hat is a good luck charm. You might be onto something. you just might be onto something here. Holy hell, I was just thinking about that. All right, I think Alexis is going to try one more time. If it doesn't work, then we'll move on, which is a bummer.
All right, I hope that this is working now.
It's working. I can hear you.
Okay, thank God. Okay, I'm so sorry, guys. No more AirPods. I turned my Bluetooth off of my phone, so that way they won't, like, connect.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So sorry about that. I obviously did something wrong on my end, but what was it that you asked me? What was my reaction to the game? Like, how do I feel about Kyren, I think is what we were talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I know I said, like, when we were talking off air after the show, I said, like, to kind of temper expectations because you just, you never see guys come off this high ankle sprain and they're the same player right away. And he looked exactly the same, and he looked like he honestly picked up where he left off. Like, he looked like last week he played, and he was building off it.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I'm not surprised at all, though, because like we were talking about earlier, like, I've been a huge believer in him, and so have you, and I feel like they were super conservative with the injury. So, like, in my opinion, again, I don't know for sure because I'm not a doctor and I haven't, like, heard this specifically, but I feel like they were very precautionary putting him in IR. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, I don't think that they were, like, you know, I don't think that I think they did the opposite of rushing him back. I think they gave him plenty of time. He's been working out. He's been training. So I wasn't surprised to see, you know, what he did. But, man, I love to see it. I'm like a proud sister. I watch him running in those touchdowns, and my heart grows 2 sizes like I'm the Grinch. I'm just like, there you go. Keep running, Kiren. Keep running.
Oh, my God. Is that going to stick? Is Kiren going to stick?
I hope to God not. I like the Kylo Ren reference better.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about Adam Driver off air, so that would be cool.
Yeah, we were.
You know? That fits. I'm okay with that.
I mean, listen, I'm a huge Kyren fan. I'm glad that a lot of people now are seeing what I was saying. And I think that he's earned all the praise that he's getting. Like, it's not unwarranted by any means. And I think our offense, like, we operate differently when he's out there. He allows us to have that creativity that I think we've been lacking the past couple of weeks. You know, we won 1 game without him. And I'm not saying, you know, that there's a lot of other reasons we didn't win those games. It wasn't just because we were missing Kyren Williams probably, but he definitely adds kind of life to our offense. And, you know, I wanted to ask you, by the way, because I saw that you tweeted this. You said that he could have broken the record if he didn't come out. Which record were you talking about?
So I was talking about, I mean, I guess any record. I mean, this game I felt like was kind of, if he was in the midst of, like, playing 3 weeks in a row, you know, I think Sean McVay leaves him in there. But I think you could tell there was he's still limited. I mean, let's just call it like it is. Like, Sean McVay still gave Royce Freeman 13 carries and only 16 for Kyren. So he was still limited in this game, which is a good sign because he was able to do this when I mean, it's hard as a running back to stay in a rhythm when you're being taken out and putting back in constantly. And he had no issue doing it. He had no issue picking up where he left off. He had no issue, you know, breaking tackles and creating. The 56-yard run, for instance. I mean, he breaks, you know, a couple tackles there. I thought Freeman played well too. They complement each other well, you know? I think this is the closest that McVay has had to Todd Gurley. And I think this game is the start of something new. This is the start of the Rams adapting to the idea that, yes, we have Puka Nacua. Yes, we have Tutu Atwell. Yes, we have even Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. But I think there's more of an open factor moving forward now with Kyren Williams being the engine of the offense. And that was really the reality kind of staring them in the face. And it's why I said, I mean, this team only won one game without Kyren Williams, you know, and it's just like they won 3 of their 5. Actually, they won 4 of their 5 wins with Kyren. They won 3 on that first run with him before he got hurt. At some point or another, you know, you have to realize, yes, I got a bunch of these fun weapons, but I need to have a balanced offense, or I need to just really sell out and be like, you know what? This is Kyren Williams' offense. Just like Todd Gurley helped Jared Goff transition from, you know, his rookie year where he was a bust and it was a high school offense. Todd goes with Sean McVay, and all of a sudden, you know, Todd looks like the best player in the league. Like, there's no reason why moving forward the focal point can't be Kyren Williams.
Well, I agree, because he's not just a running back. I mean, he's a good receiver. I mean, he's not obviously Cooper Kupp or Puka Nacua in terms of receiving, right? But he gives you that option. He gives you options to use him in multiple different ways, which is not only good for your team, it makes it hard for opposing defenses, like we've talked about on our show, to kind of figure out what's going to happen when Kyren's in. You know, like before when you had Cam in, it was kind of like you knew what was going to happen, right?
Yeah.
You put Kyren in there and you have no idea. Is he running? Is he receiving? Is he in there for pass pro? Because he does all of those and he does them all well, that it kind of takes the pressure off of everybody else and their role to be a little bit more flexible, probably especially Matthew Stafford. So I think that, yeah, I just think it definitely gives them a much more balanced offense. And I mean, he's like an engine. Like we've talked about, I think you called him once like a bundle of energy. Like you just put Kyren in and he just does not stop. Like it's hard to bring him down. And he's not the fastest, right? He's not the home run hitter. He's not the quickest running back out there, but he's elusive and it is hard to bring him down. He's slippery. And we saw that today. I mean, he had several runs today where he's breaking 4 or 5 tackles, right?
Yeah.
So it's very helpful. And then when he needs that break, it's nice that Royce Freeman can pick up the slack, because you and I talked about, before, we can't, and you could have it like it before when Kyren is out there 99% of the time, but all you're doing when you do that is wearing on his body and increasing the risk of injury if he's playing all the snaps. Like you have to have somebody who can go in there and be productive for a couple drives and give him a break, like Royce Freeman did today. I thought Royce did a really good job, so that was nice to see. But yeah, in terms of just like Kyren Williams things, wrapping that up, I mean, I love to see it. I was very excited, and I'm not surprised. I actually went and got our predictions. Do you want me to say them?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So mine was, I had the Kyren 2 touchdowns. I did have the Darion Kendrick interception, which we're going to call that like a half win because they didn't count it, but like,
I mean, it's a win. Okay. It's a win in my
is
book.
it?
Yeah. Cause
well,
I mean, hey, that's 2 points they could have had, I mean,
that's true.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a win. I mean, if anything, we'll just say it's an L from the NFL that they don't count that as an interception.
That's fair. So, okay, so I had the Kyren 2 touchdowns, Darion Kendrick interception, and then I had Aaron Donald sack, which did not happen. You actually had 4 predictions this week.
And they all missed except for Kyren.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sick. Hold on 1 second. I'll mute myself while I cough.
This is
Okay,
Alexis's flu game right now.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'm out for the count, and I'm trying to like rally before work tomorrow. Okay, so you had Kyren 100 yards, so you did hit that.
Yeah.
And then you had Puka Nacua 120 yards and a touchdown.
Oh wow, yeah, that wasn't even close.
Yeah, and then Witherspoon interception, and then Aaron Donald 2 sacks.
Oh yeah, 1 for 4. I'm batting 250. I mean, I'll take it. You know, I can't believe how many people benched Kyren. I couldn't believe
I
it.
know.
And-
Well, I feel like it's because people, when somebody, like we said earlier, when somebody's coming back off an injury, it's kind of like.
But against this
You never
Arizona
know.
defense, and that's also, to be fair.
Right. I started.
Oh, yeah. But I'm just saying, like, to be fair, like, Arizona's defense is horrible against the run. So,
There.
you know, to expect him to do this against the Browns next week is unfair for Kyren. But there are things that he did in this game that translate to any game. You know, it wasn't just the Arizona Cardinals were a bad run defense. Like, you could say, okay, like, yeah, they should tackle, but he created yards, you know, after contact. And, you know, also just his ability in the passing game. Alexis, I would go down without a doubt. This is the most complete game the Rams have had in quite some time. I just thought that all three phases were just, you know, they were on it.
They were getting Tyler Higbee 2 touchdowns. What was that?
I know.
I mean, I love to see it, but I just did not account for that at all. I used in literally none of my parlays. It included any Tyler Higbee props.
Yeah, I mean, he's been banged up, so hopefully this is the sign of things to come, and he's getting back. I think next week against the Browns. I mean, well, let's talk about this, okay? The Rams have the Browns, the Ravens, the Commanders. I've been asking everyone who's come on these 2 questions. First off, those 3. How many games do you see the Rams winning out of those 3?
2.
Yeah, I think
I'm
2
nervous
and
about the
3 as well.
Ravens.
Same.
I'm nervous about the Ravens. The Browns are kind of like, I think, on a downward trend, and also DTR got hurt today. And I believe did not come back into the game. I don't know that for sure. But the last that I heard, so
Garrett
who
got
knows?
hurt. Cooper left with rib injury. They don't have Chubb, of course. I mean,
they've just gotten really banged up. So like we probably will be facing Joe Flacco next week.
That's crazy.
So
they're
they're kind of down bad. So I don't have, you know, their defense has been pretty solid, I guess. I mean, if Myles Garrett isn't there, that changes everything. But we'll see. I'm not super concerned about the Browns. The Ravens, I would be a little bit like nervous about. I think that they're very good. And just the way that they've been playing, that I think will be kind of a tough one to overcome. But then the Commanders, I'm not worried about. You know, I mean, anything could happen. But off the top of my head, those 3 teams, I think 2-1.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel the same way. And maybe after this Browns game, like if they were to blow out the Browns, I might be thinking differently. But yeah, the Ravens game, I have like a penciled in L right now. I'll say this. You know, everyone gives the Rams crap for how they started the game or how they started the season, but they're 5-6 now. They're a win away from having the same record the Bills currently have. Crazy. 6-6.
And we're in the NFC, so that's better for us.
Exactly. But they're also a win, a Seahawks loss, and a Packers loss from being the 7th seed after next week. That's it. Just after next week.
It would help us a lot, too, I think, if tomorrow night the Bears beat the Vikings, right?
It would. Not in the short term, but the long term. Like it's not like it would change like they still have the tiebreaker over the Rams currently, whatever that is, common games, whatever. But long term, that could be huge. So right. I mean, really, for anyone who needs a rooting guide or rooting interest guide, just look at all the NFC teams. If you see a team like, say, the Vikings or the Packers or Seattle or who's the other one? The Packers, Vikings, Seattle. That's pretty much it. those teams, maybe the Bucks throwing in there, Saints, Falcons, you just want them to lose because it gives the Rams more opportunities to get in. And the second question I'm going to ask you, Alexis, after the three, do the Rams make the playoffs? Because I'll tell you right now, I haven't really wavered, but like as I've been saying, I think they're going to make the playoffs. I really believe they're going to make the playoffs. And I think today was kind of a statement, like this team is only going to build off this and start their launch point. And I think they know that, you know, that game against the Seattle Seahawks isn't going to win many games in the NFL, but that's not who they are. And I think they showed that today against a team that brought the Ravens down to the wire, picked off Stroud 3 times, brought the Texans down to the wire last week. This Cardinals team is tough. You know, they've been tough all year. They beat Dallas. But the Rams, I just thought, came in with a perfect game plan. We saw creativity we haven't seen in quite some time. More, you know, play action bootlegs, things like that, getting the tight ends involved, the running backs involved in the passing game. But yeah, do you think they make the playoffs?
I think if they keep building on, if they keep playing like they are now and everybody stays healthy, yes. I think that they do. I think my only hesitation in being 100% is like, they're kind of in a position right now where I feel like it really depends a lot on what a couple other NFC teams do.
Yes.
So, you know, normally I think it's good to be in a position where you could say, oh, well, if we just went out, right, and we just, you know, then it'll look good for us. I just like feel like I got to do the math. Like I just have to like figure out exactly what that means, because I feel like every time I look at it, we're really dependent on what a couple other teams do. But I think that they can make the playoffs. You know, will they or should they? You know, whatever is a different thing. But they're talented enough to.
Yeah.
And like you have talked about, it helps that we're in the NFC. If we were in the AFC, it would be a whole different story. But the NFC is so wide open, and you've kind of got so many teams, I feel like, in a similar situation, that it's really, truly probably going to come down to like the last 2 games.
Yeah. I mean, what's so bizarre is that the AFC is really all about just the level of the teams behind. But when you look at like the playoff picture, you see the 1 seed is 8-3. You see the 1 seed in the NFC is 10-1. The 2 seed is 8-3 in the NFC. 2 seed is 8-3 in the AFC. In the AFC, you have an 8-3 team. 3rd seed, same with the NFC. The 4th seed is where it's deviated. The problem is, can we all agree the NFC South, like, it does not even deserve an automatic playoff bid? I mean, the 5-6 Falcons, like, they would host the Dallas Cowboys, who have won 8 games. The 5-6 Falcons. That's crazy.
It's just, they're all, yeah, the NFC South is struggling. I did not realize that the Panthers are 1-10.
Yeah, it's not great.
That is horrible. But, you know, the Patriots are 2-9. The AFC, you know.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't believe the Giants won today. I was like, oh my God. I mean, I thought they would win.
Picked them.
Yeah,
I picked them because I feel like the Patriots are just chaos and not in the good way right now. So, like, I mean, they're drafting a quarterback next year. Like, they're moving on from. I mean, Mac Jones just looked absolutely putrid. It was very bad. And then they put Bailey Zappi in.
And then he got picked. Too. Yeah.
But yeah, the NFC, I mean, I'm looking at it right now. We're 5-6, right? Atlanta's 5-6. The Saints are 5-6. The Packers are 5-6. Vegas is 5-7. You know, you got like wait, that's the AFC. So, you know, it's really like, you know, Minnesota 6-5, right? You've got these teams that all we are is we're a win away and then they're a loss away and we're jumping up ahead of them and we're in the playoffs. You know what I mean? So It's just so wide open that I think that, you know, they just got to control, obviously, what they control. That sounds so simple and like dumbed down, but I like our schedule the next 3 games, except for the Ravens, but I feel confident about the other 2.
Yeah, no,
And
absolutely.
hope everyone stays healthy because we really need that. Really need that.
Yeah, I mean, again, like, this isn't the Sosar Rams sitting there with playoff machine and trying to find a million different ways to get your team in the playoffs. Like, they have a really good shot of making it if they beat the Browns and they get those losses, because I mean, if the Bears beat the Vikings, that helps, but it's not like it makes a huge difference. Like, you know, it's about a percentage change for the playoff odds. It's really all about the Cowboys beating Seattle. You know, the Packers losing to the Chiefs. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. If that happens, the Rams will have about a 50% chance of making the playoffs at that point. So, going into week 14, that's pretty good, you know?
Yeah. And let's just keep doing, what we've been doing. Let's balance the offense, and yeah, I'm excited. I'm feeling optimistic. I mean, I know that like people are like, "Oh, it's just the Cardinals," but Bill, fine. I don't agree with like that sentiment, but even if I did, I'd say fine, we'll just build off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you got Kyren back, burst of life, build on it, which I have faith that they will.
I do too. Do you have any final thoughts, Alexis? I know I kind of pumped you up a little bit about the potential live streams down the pike.
I would just say, final thoughts. You and I are going to this week. What would you like an in-depth episode about this game?
Yes.
So if it wants to check that out, check that out. I think we'll do that in the next couple of days. But yeah, I would just say Kyren Williams, respect him. Put some respect on his name. Kylo Ren, whatever we want to call him. He's the real deal, and I'm standing on business, as the kids say, about what I said about him 2 years ago. I mean, Jake, I sent you him when he was a sophomore in college and was like, "This is the guy."
Yeah, I still have that Instagram DM.
Yeah. Yeah, I DM'd Jake a clip of him on Instagram that Notre Dame posted. He had a really good play, and I was like, I know he's only a sophomore, but this is the guy. Just wait. This is who we want.
He had like 8 guys trying to bring him down, then shot out of the pile and scored a touchdown, 30-yard run. Yeah, that was crazy. That was that. But all right.
So hopefully we'll see more of next week.
Oh, I can't hear you. You're like muffled.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. All right. Well, I'll go. I know that there's probably other people waiting to call in, so I will talk to everybody when I talk to you. And yeah, go Rams. Excited we got the W.
Sounds good. Feel better. Thanks for coming on, homie.
Yep. See ya.
Later. All right. So that was my lovely co-host Alexis Kraft calling in, giving her thoughts on the game. Let's bring on Monty Brown. How we doing, my guy?
My brother Jake.
How we doing?
What's going on, Jake? Yeah, I wasn't gonna miss you this time.
Yeah, man. How about that win?
Oh man, Jake. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful victory today. Beautiful victory today, man. Like, shouts out to Kyren Williams to come back and go crazy like that. Like, I didn't expect that, Jake. Don't get me wrong. I expect maybe 60 yards. I don't know, but he said he was 150%, and he meant it. You know what I mean? So to run the ball like that, to be balanced with the pass and the run to show up the way it did, because, nobody in the receiving class had over 100 yards. Tutu had, the most yards receiving, which was a special thing to me. I was happy for Tutu. But it's just to see Kyren Williams to come back and do what he do. Man, beautiful, beautiful victory, man. I mean, that's back to back now, Jake. That's back to back now.
They haven't done it all year.
I'm looking at the Chargers, and Baltimore is only 10-3, Jake. It's only 10-3. And I know we got Cleveland next, but I just feel like I'm telling you, we finna go undefeated. We about to go undefeated, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls all over the world. From here, well, I'm gonna say we're going undefeated from here to the end of the season, y'all. I'm sorry, but no, I'm just loving it, Jake. I'm loving it, man. I'm on cloud 1,001 zillion and 66, even though it was the Cardinals. But like you said in the title, that's the second sweep of the NFC West, and we will see the Niners at the end of the year. But man, I'm just proud of the team overall. Great coaching, great execution. Matthew Stafford on fire, man. You know what I mean? I felt like he played this game not really thinking too much. Shouts out to Tyler Higbee. You know, he got his love and his glory today. And it was just, man, an all around effort. But man, I'm just excited, bro. Bring on Cleveland. Bring on Cleveland. But what's your thoughts, Jake?
I mean, I'm with you, man. I see a win like this isn't just, oh, yeah, like we won, but this, and this. I mean, man, the only complaint I heard today about this team in the middle of the game does not count. People are thinking high emotions, all that. But, I mean, following the game, the only complaint I've genuinely seen is about the kicker. And, I mean, let's be honest here. He's, 5 of 6? I don't even think it's that bad. I mean, he missed a field goal. It happens. You'd prefer him to not miss a field goal, but he did. And, now he has to bounce back from it. But he deserves the win just as much as everyone else does, because there have been times where he's made his kicks and receivers have dropped their passes. So, it goes both ways. And I think, going into the Browns game, I know they're banged up. I don't really care who plays. I mean, to me, I'm not one of those people. I know you can look at injuries and say, okay, that's a weakness for a team. This will help. They're banged up. But for me, I'd rather see the Rams just get them at full strength, because I think they can beat them at full strength. I think they could beat them with Deshaun Watson. I think they could beat them with Nick Chubb. I think they could beat them with a healthy Myles Garrett. That's just how I feel, and that's always how I felt. So, that's kind of for me. Monty, my take on the team, I mean, it really hasn't changed. I've always really been confident that they were going to be like a 10-win team this year. I had them 10-7 before the season. I do think they might drop to a 9-8, but I don't see them going lower than that. And I think they're making the playoffs. I do. I mean, I think they'll get in the playoffs, and when they get into the playoffs is going to be something interesting, because if you weren't paying attention on Thanksgiving, the Lions, they put out the blueprint on how to beat them. Pressure Jared Goff, make Jared Goff uncomfortable. I mean, we already know, right? I mean, he was a Ram. Yep. But who knows more than you and I do and the fans do? Sean McVay. So, and they faced Jared Goff. They faced him the Super Bowl season. So it's not like, Raheem Morris has never seen him either. So I got to say, I mean, it'd be nice to play the 49ers and ruin their season. But I got to say, the game that would be really fascinating is, what if Matthew Stafford makes his return to Detroit in the playoffs and beats Jared Goff and silences all of the Stafford isn't good haters and all of the Jared Goff is better haters. Because, man, I'll be honest with you, I like Jared. I appreciate Jared's contributions. And, I do think there were things he did. I mean, I thought he went down swinging, but, there were some strong swings in that game against the Packers. Like, there were times where I was like, man, we might have him on the ropes. Goff played well in a cold environment and a turnstile at left guard, but Stafford got it done. That's what it comes down to. Stafford he came right in. He had all this, he's stat Padford, and you gave up all this and you mortgaged your future, and he didn't care. He came right in and he won. And, a year where, Stafford's played all of his games, he made the playoffs. Last year he played 9 games, 10 games. I mean, I really think if he stays healthy, the Rams stay decently healthy. Obviously, you're going to have your bumps and bruises. You're going to have maybe a guy go on IR towards the end of the season. We see it all the time. But if the Rams keep the key guys healthy, then yes, I do think they make the playoffs. And I think they could beat the Lions. They could beat the Niners. Hell, they could beat the Eagles. I mean, we've seen it. The Eagles are susceptible to getting beat. I think the thing that's so great about the Eagles and why they continue to win is because the Eagles know how to finish games. And that's something I think the Rams are still learning how to do. And this is a huge test these next 3 games, mainly the next 2. But it's any given Sunday, so not trying to say the Commanders are a walk in the park. But these next 2 games against really good defenses, the Cleveland Browns, Baltimore Ravens, to win at home is one thing. To go on the road cross country in Baltimore against one of the most electrifying players in all of football, in Lamar Jackson, and a defense that leads the league in sacks is another. So we'll see. But I think by the time they get to the end of this road in week 18 or week 19, whatever we're talking about, they're going to be a better team because basically the adversity that they're going to face and the teams that they're going to be battle tested. I think right now, if this Rams team was in the playoffs, they might make some noise in the first half. They'd fade by the second half. But I think they can get better over the course of, the next bunch of games. And then I think just get in the dance, because at that point, the only 2 guys in the NFC that have Super Bowl experience that are going to be likely in the playoffs, Stafford and Hurts, period. So
I say this all the time, Jake. I really think this. Like, nobody's going to beat us until they beat us. You understand what I'm saying? So we make it to the playoffs, we win in the Super Bowl. Like, we want to make noise in the beginning, and we want to make noise in the end. And I feel like this as well. I feel like we healthy at the right time. We're saying Coop just had this little situation, so he's still battling a few nicks and necks. Where we got Kyren Williams back, he doing this thing. Matthew Stafford had this little situation. We had the bye week to help him get ready. So it's like we getting healthy at the right time, and we peaking. To have a game like this, to put up 37 points, right, is a beautiful thing, because now it give us that momentum and that fire to go out there and find a way to beat Seattle, and then go on the road to beat an Arizona team, right? Who, they having their bumps and bruises right now. We know they're not the best team in the league and things of that nature, but hey, they're an NFL team. And to piggyback off what you said about the Cleveland Browns being healthy and having Deshaun Watson and Myles Garrett and all them dudes back there, that's not our problem. It's not on us to help them. Like, they grown, man. They get paid millions of dollars, just like our players get paid millions of dollars. Shit, we weren't healthy all the way through. No NFL team would be 100% healthy. You know what I mean? I'm quite sure everybody wish they was healthy playing certain people. So, hey, that's on y'all. It's the next man up. That's the motto. If you paying somebody over there to come in at the end, he need to be believing in himself, because he's in the NFL. You know what I mean? People want to be in the NFL. So shit, y'all, that's an opportunity for somebody else to come out there and to put themselves on the map and to shine. So, hey, whoever coming to SoFi next week, that's who coming. They better be ready for us. I don't give a damn what's going on with them. If y'all are down 17 players, that's y'all fault. And we need to take advantage of that and go out there and get that W. You know what I mean? Because every win counts for us now. So we need every win to make the playoff, Jake. Every win. And I'm with my boys. Until somebody beat us and prove that they better than us, they're going to have to show it. So I feel like we're going undefeated to the end of the season, and we is making the playoffs. We just got to stay taking it one game at a time and just keep believing. Keep believing. Keep, getting better off of each game, because like we said, even though we put up 37 points today, like you said, Jake, it could have been 40 if the kicker would have made the field goal. But we're not going to kick him up the ass or get mad at him, because, hey, we put up 37 points. And I mean, he hit all his other field goals. So it's just a point about, like you say, you got to bounce back and believe in yourself, because if that was the kick to win the game, or if that was the kick to, help us take the lead or something like that, it'll be a different story. Even though, so it's like, we give him a pat on the back and we boost him up. Like you say, he damn sure deserved this win, just like every other player, just like us, the fans. So, we're not going to knock him or beat him up. We go lift him up so he can make the kick next time. So, we looking good, man. And to have that coaching staff that we got, like, that's a big deal too. To go into the playoffs, having a coaching staff that we got, they got the experience, right? Like a Raheem Morris and a Sean McVay, to not panic in certain situations, because a first team, a team that's getting to the playoffs for the first time with a new head coach or, just getting there in critical moments, they just might panic. When we just know to relax, we've been here before, you know what I'm saying? We know how the game slows down in the playoffs because it's win and go home. You know what I mean? It ain't no tomorrow. So every mistake counts in the playoffs. Every mistake, every penalty, everything counts in the playoffs. That's where you got to be penalty free. Nobody gonna be penalty free, but try to make as least penalties as possible and try to play the most cleanest game as you can. Control the clock and put up more points than the other team. That's to win the game. So I feel like we are great at that. We have young blood, young talent that's going out there that's shining. So man, listen, we got if we make it to the playoffs, we got a better shot just as any to go out there and win it all, man. Because everybody starts 0-0. Everybody paychecks is the same in the playoffs. Nobody checks is bigger than the next. So it's who wanted the most. Who wanted the most? And yes, other teams out there that's better than us. I ain't gonna say better than us. That's on paper that's better than us because to me, right, we the best team in the league. So on paper that's better than us and believe they fans believe in them and we believe in our team. So we just got to make it to the playoffs, Jake. Just one game at a time, so we can keep having these good old moments with our brother Jake here. One game at a time. Let's go win each game from here on out, and then let's see what happens. You know what I mean? So crown our players, crown our coaches, crown us the fans. You know what I'm saying? And let's just keep pushing, baby. Let's see how far we can take this thing before the end of the season. And we start talking about draft players and which players not coming back and things of that nature.
Monty, I agree. I will get everyone ready for the draft when that time comes. That time is not now.
That's
right. There are 7 games left right now? Yeah.
Yep.
6 games. I mean, that's crazy. There's 6 games left in the season. Enjoy the 6 games.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the draft will be there, man. It's a long off season. Trust me. I'll have everyone ready for the draft. Plenty of draft. You guys have not seen anything yet because now that I've transitioned this channel to a Rams channel, I can have more of a Rams centric take on the draft. Now I'll still have draft content that's for everybody, but I'll still be able to put a Rams spin on it. And I feel like it'll be more digestible for everyone. So, yeah, don't worry about all that. I'll take care of that. But yeah, Monty, appreciate you, my friend. Hopefully we're talking next week after a Rams win against the Browns. That would put them at 6-6, and depending on how the Seahawks and Dallas game goes, I believe that's Thursday. Let me check here.
Thursday. Yep.
It is Thursday. Okay. Yeah, depending on how that game goes, the moment the Rams win that game, if the Rams beat Cleveland at 425, I believe that would put them at the 7th seed in the playoffs. And the Packers would have to beat Kansas City to claim that 7th seed.
That's not going to happen.
So,
let's go, Dallas.
So Dallas and Kansas City are the most important teams to root for next week. Cowboys are your friend the rest of the year because they can make things a little easier or they can make things a little difficult. And if they lose to Seattle, it's still up in the air, But
and that's my second best team too, Dallas. So I gotta admit that I am a Dallas Cowboys fan, But the Rams my number 1, Dallas my number 2.
Okay. That's interesting.
I grew up a Cowboy. I grew up an Emmitt Smith fan, so.
Gotcha.
My pops was a big time. Yeah, my pops was a big time Cowboys fan. My mom always been a Rams fan, but you follow the footsteps of the father in the beginning, right? And he had my head just souped up and things of that nature. And I wanted to be Emmitt Smith as a kid, but as I got older, right, I started loving my city, St. Louis and the Rams, and it was the greatest thing I ever done to transfer over to my team and not my father's team. So, yeah.
Well, who knows? We could be looking at a Rams Super Bowl sooner than later. You never know. And I'll say this, in a season where no one is really looked like they wanted to pull away. I mean, even the Eagles, who have one loss on the year, they don't make it look pretty. There's not really a dominant, Patriots dynasty-esque team. There's not one of those teams that really stand out. Personally, I think the 49ers are probably the closest to that, but that 3-game losing streak, I don't know. It showed some weaknesses. So we'll see, but appreciate you, my friend, and we'll talk soon, mate.
Yes, sir. You have a good one out there, my brother. Shouts out to the chat. Y'all continue to support my brother Jake, and we will be back next week with another one, Jake. You have a good one, my brother.
You too. Take care, Monty.
Okay.
All right. Coach, how you doing? Let's see. I'm trying to see all time. Probably this year, I would say this is the longest. Let's see here. No, it's not. Last week was 3 hours and 23 minutes. Packers was 3 hours. Rams Cowboys game was 2 hours and 45. Steelers was 2 hours and 45. Last Cardinals game was 3 hours and 17. Rams Eagles 2 hours and 50. Rams Colts was 3 hours and 17. Bengals game was 3 hours and 13. The 49er game was 2 hours and 21 minutes. And the Seattle game was 3 hours and 51 minutes. Okay, so the Seattle game week 1 was almost 4 hours. That was our longest JE Live of the season. That's not including watch parties. That's just a straight up JE Live. Coach, you there? I mean, you've been waiting for 3 hours, so I totally understand if you're not. All right, I will come back to this and see if you're around later. Let's go with Blaze Blue Beats. How you doing?
I don't know. Staley, I think Staley misled all those people.
Hey, what's up? You're on JE Live. Did I pull you out of a conversation?
Hello?
Hey, did I pull you out of a conversation? My bad.
1 second. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, did I pull you out of your conversation?
No, you're good. No, you're good. We were watching the Charger game.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, no, I always feel bad because like when people are muted, I can clearly see that you're probably like talking in the waiting room, although I can't see any like waves moving. So
yeah,
I always have to be mindful
Careful.
of that. But how's it going? What'd you think about the game?
This is probably the most complete game I've seen so far for the Rams. You had 33 passing attempts and 33 rushing attempts. Balance.
Yeah.
Literally, the yards were pretty much the exact same.
I agree with that.
Okay, if we can do that, that's all you got to do, McVay. You just got to keep it balanced, or give me a little bit more running attempts than passing attempts.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But I love what I saw today. Like I said, these last 2 games were going to determine what we were going to be able to do, and we won both of them. And now we'll be at home against Cleveland, and I was looking on my phone, and some of the people mentioned it earlier. Cleveland's coming in handicapped right now.
Yeah, they're pretty banged up.
I don't know. I take it the quarterback's still probably in concussion protocol, right?
Yes. He did.
Okay.
He did suffer a concussion. I did see that. So moving forward, the next 3 games: Cleveland, Baltimore, and Washington. How do you see those 3 going? Do you think the Rams win out? Do you think they win 2? Do you think they lose 2? How do you see it going?
2-1. I see 2-1. Wins against Cleveland and Washington. Baltimore has kind of. I don't really see us winning that. I mean, you could beat any team in the NFL, but I just don't. It's kind of hard to see us winning that game.
Yeah, it's definitely not easy. The thing that Baltimore's really good at is just eating the clock. That is a concern of mine. Any team like that against the Rams, that just concerns me in general. So that's one of those ones where I'm like, it's tough. I mean, like, the average time of possession is a big deal, and Baltimore is a top 10 team in that. Cleveland actually leads the league in that.
In time of possession?
In time of possession, yes. Over the last 3 weeks, they're actually tied. They're second behind Chicago. But it's Cleveland, Philadelphia, Detroit, San Francisco, Dallas, Washington, Jacksonville, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Chicago. The Rams are currently 20th. So, and over the last, the last 3 games, they are 31st.
Rams?
Yes.
Wow. Ugh. Yeah, no, like I said, the fact that Baltimore has the best running quarterback and some of the have a good receiving core with that, it kind of makes me like, last time they played us, they kicked our ass. I went to that game. They kicked our ass. We literally left at the 3rd quarter.
Yeah.
So I think that we might have a repeat of that, but
they're 13th in average time of possession on the road.
Who? Rams?
The Rams are, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is fascinating. I mean, I do think, as great as those drives were today, they were quick. They had some quick drives. I mean, very efficient, right? But, some quick drives. The Rams did dominate the time of possession today. They had 34, but you could see that in a different game. You could see how that could be a problem.
Yeah.
So, I mean, 457 yards total offense, 25 first downs.
Yep.
They definitely look good. So you see them 2-3. That's kind of 2 out of 3. I see them winning 2 out of 3 in the upcoming 3. I mean, they got 6 games left. So after that, I mean, then you have the Saints, you have the Giants, and you have the Niners.
Giants. Yeah.
So,
I think for the Rams playoff hopes, I'm just hoping we can clinch a spot if we can, but before we get to San Francisco, because if we were relying on to win against San Francisco, now maybe San Francisco is resting their players, that might play into our favor. But if they're not resting their players and they're playing their starters for at least several, the first couple quarters of the game, we might not make the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. We'll see. But, I do agree with that. That could be a problem. Do you think they make the playoffs?
I think like I said, I think we do. I just don't know. Like I said, if it comes down to San Francisco, no. If we can win, like I said, once we got out of the bye, we need to win 6 out of the 8 games. We've won 2 so far. So if we can win against the Browns, against Washington, against the Saints, and against the Giants, and that gives us at least to 500 if we lose to San Francisco and Baltimore. If I stand corrected, or it'll be 9-8.
Yeah, no, that's they'd be 9-8 if they lost to Baltimore and the 49ers.
But correct me if I'm wrong, because I was listening earlier. I know you were talking about tiebreakers. Correct me if I'm wrong, but if you end up tied, isn't the first tiebreaker your conference record?
I believe so.
So if that would be the case, then the Rams would have, say, if it does come down to San Francisco and we lose the game, we'd be 4-2 in the conference then. Or the division. Is it
4-2 in the division? Yeah, conference would be different. I could probably get that for you, that information.
I think it's division games. I thought.
Let's see. So the Rams are 4-4 in the conference. Seattle actually has a conference tiebreaker if the Rams didn't have a head-to-head. The Rams had the head-to-head, so they would have that. So the tiebreakers are as followed. Except, where are they? Why am I not seeing them? I'm trying to find them. Oh, okay, here they are. Okay, so tie-breaking procedures are as followed. For playoff seeding, the division champion with the best record, the division champion. Okay, I have all that. To break a tie within a division, if at the end of the regular season, 2 or more teams in the same division finish with identical won-lost tied percentage, the following steps will be taken until the champion is determined. Head-to-head is the first. Best win-loss percentage in games played within the division. Then best win-loss percentage in common games. So that's the same games that they play, all their opponents, whoever has the best record. The fourth, if that doesn't break the tie, the fourth would be games played within the conference win-loss percentage. So it's division, common games, then conference. Then fifth would be strength of victory.
Okay.
So this is 2 teams though. So if they don't play each other, that's how they break the tie. But that is within a division. So that's to decide a division, right? That's like if Seattle or the 49ers or the Rams or whatever, it was 2 teams to win the division. If you look at a tiebreaker for a wild card team, 2 teams head to head, if applicable, is the end all be all of that. If it's not applicable, then best win-loss percentage in conference games. And then we third, if that doesn't work, it's common games, a minimum of 4. If there's not a minimum of 4 or that doesn't work, then you go to strength of victory, then strength of schedule, then best combined ranking among conference teams in points scored and points allowed. So that would be wow. Okay, then that's
kind of complicated.
Yeah. Then 7th would be best combined ranking among all teams in points scored, points allowed. This is only between 2 teams, though. If you have 3 or more teams, let's see. Apply divisional tiebreaker to eliminate all but the highest ranked team in each division prior to proceeding to step 2. So, I guess
division record wouldn't really play into effect if it was a team against outside of our division. Then
that's interesting. Division tiebreaker, highest ranked team in each division prior to proceeding. Application. Let's see. It is a little confusing.
Yeah.
I mean, let's go back to right now in the playoffs. The Rams hold a tiebreaker over New Orleans based on best win percentage in conference games. They have 4 wins, 4 losses. The Saints are 2-4 in conference games.
Okay.
The Bucs are 3-4. The Giants are 3-4. Commanders are 2-7. Commanders really have no shot. 2-7 in conference games.
Okay.
So 2-7 in conference games. 2-4 in conference games. 2-4 in conference games. 2-7 in conference games. 2-4 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 in conference games. 2- And the Giants, I mean, they have a very slim shot because they have a tiebreaker head-to-head over Washington. It's really the Bucs, Saints, Rams, Packers, Seahawks, Vikings, and Cowboys for the wild card. And there's 3 wild card spots. So the Packers, if they tie with 3 teams, they tie with the Rams and Saints, they beat both of them. So that would be a sweep. So that would be good enough to use the tiebreaker head-to-head. Yeah. I think the Falcons, the Rams were ahead of the Falcons too. Like if the Falcons were to drop off, because they have a head-to-head win percentage tiebreaker over New Orleans.
Yeah.
But if they were to drop, New Orleans Atlanta has the same conference win percentage as the Rams. So then where would that go after that? So it would be win percentage in common games, minimum of 4. I'm just looking at this because I'm having fun with it. Okay, so the Falcons beat the Packers, so they would be 1-0, and the Rams would be 0-1. The Falcons 1-1 against the Commanders, to be determined against the Rams. 1-2 because they lost to the Cardinals. 2-2 because they beat the Saints. Rams, they're 1-1. Cardinals and Packers, and to be determined, Saints and Commanders would kind of decide it at that point.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, those are the common games.
Okay.
Yeah. So just, weird tiebreakers. I mean, I don't really think it's going to come down to that, to be honest with you. I think the Rams really kind of control their own destiny at this point. I know it doesn't feel that way, but it's not like all these teams are going to win out. So
no, I think like the Saints and the Saints and the Falcons are going to be battling for that spot. That's given. Rams, the only people really, I mean, Packers probably can make it depending. I don't know, but the only team that's really secured a wild card spot right now is probably Dallas. That's it. Everything else is up for grabs.
Yeah, I mean they still, albeit today probably wasn't great for them, but they still have a shot at the NFC East title. So
I don't know. Well, I know I hate myself for saying this, but I know I'm gonna be praying that making sure. Well, I'll be rooting against Seattle. I would never say I'm rooting for the Cowboys. I can never say that. Ugh. Me saying because we need the Seahawks to lose so we can be tied with them if we win on Sunday.
The Cowboys have an interesting schedule ahead. It's not easy. They got the Seahawks, Eagles, Bills, Dolphins, and Lions. Then the Commanders to end the season, but. I mean, let's look at it this way. If the Cowboys knock off Seattle, they knock off Philly, they knock off Miami, they knock off the Lions and Bills. I mean, the Cowboys could steal the 1 seed. I mean, it's certainly possible.
Yeah.
So
I mean, they only have 3 losses, and that's only 2 losses behind the Eagles. That's it. So.
Yeah, the 49er game is really everything for that Eagle, because if the Eagles knock off the 49ers,
they would have a tiebreaker over them, and they would be impossible for them to get the 1 seed without Eagles falling off.
Yeah, the 49ers, I mean, they have it kind of easy. Aside from the Rams and the Ravens, they have, after the Eagles, they would have the Seahawks, the Cardinals, and the Commanders. So, I mean, for them, I guess. But yeah, I am going to bring on people rapid fire because I just totally lost track of time and I had no idea it was 10:30. But hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, and we'll talk next week.
Yeah, hopefully, because I missed last week. We went to the game and then I crashed when I got home.
I've been there, done that. I get it.
But have a good one, though.
You too. Take care.
You too.
All right, later. All right, guys, let's do this. Omar, how you doing? You there?
How about yourself, man? You?
Oh, hey, how's it going? I mean, I'm feeling good. Just didn't realize how late it was.
Yeah.
Appreciate you waiting. I'll ask you the two questions. I kind of have to go rapid fire here, but first off, well, I'll ask you three. First off, what were your thoughts on the game?
Great showing of a complete team.
Yeah.
The best showing we've had all season, essentially.
Yeah, I definitely can't disagree with that. I thought that was, man, I kind of want to rewatch that. It's like one of your favorite, one of your favorite movies. You just want to throw on when you're feeling like you need some entertainment. But
nah, come on, let's not play the Niners card right here. Let's not actually freak out the VHS for the Super Bowls.
Yeah, but I could watch Kyren, to be fair, go for 145 any day.
Sure.
So, yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Next three games: Browns, Ravens, Commanders. What's the Rams' record after those three, do you think?
Optimistically, 3-0.
Okay.
Realistically, 2-1.
I feel like 2-1's a good bet there. I mean, that would put them at, they'd be at 7-7, 7-6.
Yeah. It'd be
7-7.
7, yeah.
7-7, yeah. Wait, would they? Yeah, they would. Oh my God, I'm losing it.
No, you're good.
Yeah, 7-7. I mean, like, it doesn't make it easier, obviously, but
no, obviously not.
But I think it's somewhat realistic, and I don't know. It's interesting. I haven't really predicted a Rams loss in a while because I just had a lot of confidence in them, and I think there are a lot of these games that they could win. But man, I don't know, that Ravens team just figures out a way to get it done. I mean, even when they don't look great,
I mean, Lamar is playing his best football since his MVP season. I'm going to be completely honest there.
Yeah, so that could be trouble. Last question for you. Do the Rams make the playoffs?
Honestly, I think we do, but we barely scrape by as the 7th seed.
Yeah, I'm thinking 7th seed as well. Unless the Vikings kind of melt down. I don't know if I see that. I see them losing a few games and maybe others have them winning, but I don't know if they're going to melt down. But yeah, I do see the Rams making the playoffs.
I talked to my friend about this. He sees that what the Vikings are doing right now isn't as sustainable as he would like.
Yeah.
So he feels that they might have that failure of a season very quickly because of their injuries and how they aren't just playing sustainably good defense like he would want to.
Yeah, the Bears game could be interesting. If they lose that could be bad. I mean, they could also lose their spot to the Packers. Like, that's also a possibility. I don't care where the Rams are. I just want them to be 7 or 6. That's all I know. I mean, they're not getting 5, but I mean, if they won out, I guess they'd have a shot, but that'd be their only way. But yeah. Do you have any final thoughts?
Yeah. I'm going to go full homer mode here.
Do it.
To the Super Bowl.
Hey, stranger things have happened. That Bengals team, second year of Joe Burrow, coming off a torn ACL. I don't think anybody expected them to be in the Super Bowl. So
yeah.
Like
I said, full homer mode. 10-7 Rams to the Super Bowl. You're there first.
Well, hey, appreciate you. I'd have you on longer, but I have to. This is a self-care move. Because if I'm on here any longer, it's not going to be great. So
you're going to conk the hell out. Now I get it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to pass out on my show, but but appreciate you, man. And we'll talk soon.
Yeah, talk to you, man.
All right, later. All right, Mom Mitch, how you doing?
Yo, what's up, Jake? Yo.
How's it
you can
going?
Call me Mo. Good, brother. Let me pause you earlier, brother. Can you hear me, brother?
Yeah. So appreciate you waiting. I kind of have to go rapid fire because I didn't realize how late it was, but
That's cool, man.
appreciate it, man. First question for you. We'll start off. What were your thoughts on the game?
Well, since you're going rapid fire, there's just one thing I really just wanted to say. I wanted to kind of give a highlight on Aaron Donald this game, man. Because if you go look at his stats, it says 0 tackles, 0 sacks, 2 QB hits. I couldn't look up how many pressures he got. But I don't mind going last row because I like to watch film like you. I'm a tape head, so I was watching this defensive side, and man, he got just like the Cardinals third possession, 3rd and 7, drew the flag on the rookie. I forgot the first round rookie that the Cardinals drafted. Drew a flag on him. Second half possession, drew another chop block flag. Anytime he got close to Kyler with the hit, demolished him. Remember that first half, James Conner, his old pit friend Conner got away from him again in the backfield. I mean, this up this play, like, we just can't forget how great this guy is. And, like, this is just another, like, masterpiece of his. Like, when you look at the stat line, it looks like, oh, the Cardinals actually shut Aaron down. Like, no, he was a menace the whole game. And the guy is still doing it. So, just to watch him play, man, it's just, I don't know. This could be last year with us, depending on how this year goes. Maybe not. Hopefully, he ends his career with us, but you gotta appreciate greatness when you see it, man. This is probably his last or second to last year. You know what I mean? It's just I'm so happy this happened by the Rams. So we got to see one of the greatest defensive players of all time.
Yeah, he's been
watching this tape. You'll see when you watch the tape, man. Like, it's just like he's still doing it. Like, it's insane when you think about it.
Oh yeah, all game just making impact. I mean, and you see the way the Cardinals just go about it, right? I mean, they're like, all right, we're fine letting this guy beat us and this guy beat us because we're just not going to let Aaron Donald beat us. And Aaron Donald doesn't care about stats. It's why Aaron Donald's sitting there at 5.5 sacks and isn't complaining about it. He's just trying to help the team. He just wants to win, help the team get better. And it's so fun to watch him because everyone talks, and again, no knock against guys like TJ Watt, but everyone talks about TJ Watt's sacks and how he has the second most all time in the first 100 games. But I mean, Aaron Donald, first off, doesn't play that position. So the fact that they're even comparable is crazy in itself. But second, just watching Aaron Donald, it's just a different approach. He's not out there to be the hands-on game wrecker. He can wreck the game just by being at the game. And I think that's the beauty of it, is that when you have him on the field, offenses literally have to change everything they're doing just to accommodate for Aaron Donald. And it opens up the opportunity for others. So he essentially is no different than a LeBron James, a Jordan, a Tom Brady, if you will, just elevating everyone around him.
When you're watching him, man. That's how it feels when you're watching it. You're like, holy, this guy, he's everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, that play, that chop block play, that was a flag. Like, it went from 1st and 10 to 1st and 34. That drive's over.
Yeah.
Just by him being, like you said, just by him being on the field.
Exactly.
Might as well punt it right there.
100%, man. I guess I'll throw my last two questions in together. Next 3 games, you got the Browns, Ravens, Commanders. How many games the next 3 do the Rams win, and will they make the playoffs?
I say 2 out of 3. I got us beating the Browns. I haven't looked up anything on them yet. But listen, the community and you you said a lot of injuries today, so hopefully those guys are good. They're good to play, but sucks for them with injuries. We've been dealing with injuries too.
Yeah.
The Ravens game, I'm actually going with my best friend, Rams fan, and my wife. So
that's
we're
awesome.
actually going to that game. Yeah. So we went to the last time we went to the Ravens game was the Super Bowl year with our comeback with OBJ at the end there. So hopefully we bring some luck with that too. So
yeah.
But I'm thinking we're gonna lose that game. So hopefully it's a good surprise.
The way he caught that on 4th down. Clearly the Ravens were watching because they went and picked him up.
Yeah, I'm watching this game right now. There's a couple catches so far, and I think is it Washington after the Ravens?
Yeah, it's Washington, then the Saints, then the Giants, then the 49ers. The season is just shrinking.
Yeah. See, I think we can beat the Browns, lose to the Ravens. Hopefully, look good. Hopefully, a good loss. But then that's the run right there. The Washington, Saints, and the Giants. That's the run. I'm also going to the Giants game too, but that's the 3-game run that we can make it happen, and then we'll see with San Francisco. But yeah, man. But I'll let you go, man. But one thing when you watch the film that we talked about it last week. I got on with you last week. Royce Freeman. I asked him for 10 carries this game. He got 13. No one wants to step in front of that guy. Buda Baker, when that first half run he had.
He looked like a linebacker, man.
Buda Baker, he's probably the best defensive player the Cardinals have. Stepped in front of him, trucked him. And then this touchdown run, you'll see him. Buda met him right in the hole. Royce lowered that shoulder, bro, took that hit. 51, the linebacker came, hit him in the thighs, just bounced off, hit the acceleration and went to a touchdown. I love the 1-2 punch from him and Kyren. Kyren's the lightning because he can do anything, all around back, third down back. But November, late winter football, you just need a hammer. That's Royce Freeman. I love the combination of those. Just hopefully our boy McVay just keeps running the ball, man. That's all we want. Just run the ball.
I mean, if Royce Freeman is a hammer, we'll say he's a barbed wire baseball bat. And
you don't want to step in front of him. That's for sure.
And Kyren Williams is a Molotov cocktail.
Right, exactly.
Oh man. Hey, appreciate you calling in. It was nice talking with you. Sorry it took so long, and I'll see you next week, hopefully.
All good. Except for Alexis, man. You're a legend. And her boy Kyren went off, so yeah, all the right to hop on.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate the support.
No problem, man. Yeah, man. I'll talk to you next week.
All right, sounds good. You be well.
You too, brother.
All right, later. Okay, I'm going to try Coach Ray one more time, and then Look Out Moon Pie will be the last one. If you call in, I'm not a bad guy for not answering. I've been live for 3.5 hours, and I am exhausted. So it's a good thing, though. We'll take this. Coach, are you there? This is one last shot because I know you've been waiting a while. There's not really a way for me to communicate with you. So any chance? If not, I'll catch you next week. No big deal. Yeah, Eric, I'm still live. These things, I mean, OG JE Live fans know when I had the studio, like the legit studio that I rented with my cousin, this is how every live stream would go. It would be 3 to 5 hours. I still can't believe I did that. All right, I think Coach Ray is away. All right. The last one here. Look Out Moon Pie. How's it going, my friend?
Hello?
How's it going?
Good. How you doing, Jake?
I'm good. We're at the end. It only took 3.5 hours.
I feel you. I unfortunately did not get to watch the game today. I had to watch the highlights after I got off a plane.
How'd your flight go?
I made it safely, so that's always a good thing. And I spent a very nice holiday with my girlfriend and her family, so nothing to complain about.
Nice. Yeah, so I mean, I normally ask you what your thoughts were, but I guess based on like what you saw, what are your thoughts on the Rams' statement blowout win?
Considering what I said last week about them, I feel like I got to throw all that out the window. Clearly, the offense with Kyren is considerably different than the offense without him, and it's night and day in comparison.
It really is. Now, I know the Cardinals' defense isn't great against the run anyway, but the things that Kyren did in this game were translatable to any game. And I can't stress that enough, and that's what gets me the most excited, I would say.
I agree, and from what I could see of it, I caught most of the second quarter in the airport, and then about 3 plays on the plane.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, next 3 games. I got 2 more questions for you, then I'll wrap up the show. Next 3 games, the Browns, the Ravens, the Commanders. How many of those games are the Rams winning?
I'd say max of 2, but I'd also wouldn't be shocked if it was just 1. The Ravens game, that worries me, unless Lamar Jackson just falls backwards into the bench and gets a concussion before the game starts. Which doesn't seem very likely, but I can hope.
I'm not going to hope for an injury, plus I love Lamar, but...
That's fair. That it is kind of a rude thing to do. However, if he could just get lost on the way to the game, that'd be nice.
As long as he's safe. Okay, so you see 1 win or 2 wins?
Max of 2. The Browns are going to be a bit of a toss-up, I think. It just depends on the day and how the offensive line holds up, because the Browns' defense is good.
Yeah, the Browns' defense is really good.
I don't really have much to say about their offense since Nick Chubb's Grizzly injury.
Yeah, that was brutal. All right, so final question then. Do the Rams make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think so. Like, they'll sneak in there. Just barely. Whether we make it out of the first round, that's a completely different question, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, if they play like today, they can beat anybody. So just get in the dance, figure it out. But best way to do that is to win football games. So, hey, appreciate you waiting, man. I know it was probably a while, but, appreciate it.
I only got in the queue like maybe an hour ago.
Okay, that's good. And I guess it's not like a true like waiting queue because you can still watch the show. So it's not like you have to sit there and like not do anything. But no, I do appreciate you waiting, and we'll talk soon, man.
Yep. You have a good night, dude.
You too. Take care.
Bye.
All right, guys. So that's gonna do it, man. A lot of fun talking with you. I enjoy it. Just I read the comments. I can't live read them like I want to, just because it's busy doing the call-in shows. I've been thinking about going back to doing live streams throughout the week just to get in touch with the crowd and the audience and everything and community. It's been busy for me. So if you guys want another live stream, I will be live. Let me get that information for you. So I'm going to be live tomorrow at 5 p.m. 5 p.m. 5 p.m. Eastern time. That is 2 p.m. Pacific time, also known as Rams time. Will be a Rams-centric Bleacher Report live stream. So you can follow me on the Bleacher Report app at Ellenbogen, and it will alert you when I go live. I think it'll alert you when I go live if So you can check it out on there. We'll see we'll see how that goes, and then Off the Edge, I have our NFL show, Cam and I. We got a Bleacher Report live stream at 11 a.m. So 11 a.m. Bleacher Report live stream on Thursday. And then, we have the Rams Bleacher Report live stream tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern time. And that wraps up our November. You can expect a Downtown Rams episode recorded probably on Wednesday. Get it out by Thursday. Maybe it's a little bit earlier. But yeah, videos, the usual Ram-centric videos. We'll be talking a lot about this offense. I think that'll be, fun. So I'll put out some videos, maybe some YouTube shorts. Maybe I try to get back into that, find, more to grow our community, find more of an audience, because I know YouTube pushes those and I've been slacking on those. So yeah, game plan this week, folks. YouTube shorts, I'm hoping to get back into a little bit. Regular YouTube videos, expect those. Expect the Ram-centric Bleacher Report live stream I do tomorrow that you can find in the Bleacher Report app, 5 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Pacific. And then Thursday, if you're in the NFL, Off the Edge, Cam Lynch and I will have that. Cam Lynch and I will also be recording a Believe in Rams episode on Tuesday. And I believe Tuesday or Wednesday will be Downtown Rams. If there's anything else, I will not hesitate to let you guys know. And if you want to stay up to date for all sorts of news and updates and everything that I post goes right into the Discord. So if you want to be updated, join the Discord. It's free. You can call into our shows every week. But that's going to do it. Appreciate you guys, and I'll catch you guys on the flip. Later, folks.